everyone, it's Santana, and you are watching the DL Show on Dave's Guitar Channel.
All right, welcome everybody. It is Sunday night. Tonight we have Hugh Caldwell with us. Welcome, Hugh.
Hello.
We have Krellbar with us. Welcome, Krell.
As usual.
We have Joe with us. Joe, welcome.
Good evening, everybody.
By the way, that is not a spirit behind Joe. That is the fan blowing the tapestry. Reminding us all.
I tried to get the camera set up. That's why I was a few minutes late. No matter where I put it, it just looked worse.
So, it looks good. It looks fine right there.
Yeah.
Well, it's a balmy 35 degrees here.
Yeah, I got hot and pissy fucking 75 with 65% humidity down here. Hate it. Hate it.
All about the dew point.
Thanks, Andrew. Appreciate you watching my live streams. Appreciate it. Welcome, everybody. I see Terry Himes. I see Johnny Kramer. Let me get my little my mirror there as exactly.
Romper room.
Yeah. And so before we were having a chat, we were talking about guitars. I put my white guitar in the case today because, well, yesterday I set it up and I had to straighten the neck. It was getting a little too much. And so I straightened the neck on the Wenge neck, put it in the case. And hey, Sue Madsen. And then I was going to break out my yellow guitar and have that accessible to me. But then I was like, yeah, I don't need to have 500 guitars out. I got 3 out in this room, 4, and 1 in the other room. And yeah, whatever. I've been working on a bunch of acoustic songs for lessons. Let me just tell you guys, not only do I have my lesson already done for tomorrow, which would be the 28th, I have my lesson already done for the 7th of March. I have my lesson already done for the 14th of March. I have my lesson already done for the 21st of March and the 28th. Already uploaded. I'm so ahead. I go through these things where I'm like, I hear someone play a song or I hear a song on the radio. I'm like, I got to go teach. First I got to go learn it. Then I'm going to go teach it.
That's great. Now, let me ask you a question. You got everything laid out, but what if we have something that happened like with Meatloaf? Do you push the schedule back to maybe do something on topic for someone who dropped dead?
No, I would probably just do it because I just keep it going. You know what I mean? Like if Meatloaf died again. Thank you. I get crickets here. What the hell's going on? Let me try that one again. Oh. So if Meatloaf dies again, I'll make sure to do another video.
I need to call in some help on this one.
Exactly. I'll have to interject. I will put it. I'll tell you what. Right now, folks, if Meatball if Meatloaf dies again, I promise I will do another Meatloaf lesson.
That's a great name for
I won't.
A Meatloaf cover band done by an Italian singer. Meatball.
Oh, yeah. Hey, old and busted, what's happening? Oh, excellent, Joe. Folks, it looks like Joe is going to be posting a new vlog tomorrow night.
Yes. Well,
Nice.
tomorrow is 9 months.
That's
So-
congratulations on that. That is
And
awesome.
you're looking better and better every day.
Thank
Or
you.
every week.
Yeah.
The
More and
last
more
comment
handsome
you
as
made
we
before
go.
we went live made my head spin. Crumble
Yeah.
goes, "You sound like a hungover Hulk." I'm like, "Oh, son of a bitch."
Hulk.
He's got away with words. But yeah, that's amazing. 9 months. That is no easy task. It's congratulations. That's awesome.
Yeah, doing that, honestly, the managing the alcohol is better than managing the diet, which is, you can live without alcohol. Imagine
Right.
if your addiction is managing something you can't live without. I said that to my brother one time. He fucking went nuts on me, but years later he understood what I was trying to tell him.
Right.
So
Yeah.
but I'm not giving up. I may not make it, but on my grave, you could write the motherfucker never gave up. The prick didn't give in.
Well,
I thought of you the other day, Joe. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Krell.
I'm drinking again. I mean, it's like it was never a problem. It was 2.5 years I did without because I'm like, I'm gonna get down weight and stuff like that. But starting Christmas, every now and then I have a snifter of this, or a beer here. Don't get out of hand. It was never a
that was
problem for
interesting.
me to begin with.
Now
So.
we're talking
Thank
about
God, thank God you interjected my great Columbo story with that.
Yeah.
Just
Right.
one
Ah,
thing.
Lieutenant
Hold on,
Columbo.
kill him. So I thought of you the other day because I just let Tubi run all night. And I'll wake up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom and I'm like, would try one of quality for a change. You know what's funny is he's
that's
very
great.
subdued in that episode. Where in the episode where he's the CIA agent on mistaken identity crisis, he's like, Lieutenant Columbo. Oh, by the pool. I love it.
He doesn't.
Awesome.
It's weird. In By Dawn's Early Light, he's like tight as a drum. But that last 20 minutes, he's kind of like a little bit looser. Like he makes the comment, "Try one of quality." I love when Columbo shows up for lunch. He got the whole plate going. He doesn't get a bite. Doesn't even get a bite.
My favorite line in that. Oh, I know with the food. Well, if you notice, he puts the bread in his pocket.
He pockets the bread.
But you know what's great is at the very end when he knows Columbo got him, and he shows that what's been bothering him the whole time. Not the fact he was going to get caught. He was like, I so wanted to claim that I knew about the rag, but I couldn't get the words out. Like he knew that's when Columbo knew he was the guy.
Yeah.
Oh,
He had to
so
play stupid,
I haven't
and
seen
it's
that
not
one.
in his nature to play stupid. and
right.
not
It's
know
so
something.
oh,
That's
it's
what
so
made
good.
him nuts about the bottle of alcohol the whole show.
Yeah, it's great.
If he didn't let it, if he could have let that go,
No
he would have got
known
away with it.
100%.
But that's the kind of person that can't let shit go. And he fucked, it was
Oh, it's
sad.
great.
I felt bad, but
Yeah. Well, then he was back to kill again in several other episodes. No. So there was something else that I wanted to bring up. It was with Hugh, which so Hugh. First of all, I don't know if you guys, if anyone listened to Aliens Ate My Buick. It's an album I recommended last week or 2 weeks ago. I don't remember. But anyways, Hugh recommended an album to me and said for me to check out. The Teardrop Explodes. The album's called Kilimanjaro. Now I have some questions for Hugh because obviously, nobody in the States knows what the hell this is. I listened to it, and at first I was like, this is very Echo and the Bunnymen. This is very early Cure. But I thought it was later. I thought it came out around 87. So then I go look up the album, and I'm like, this Kilimanjaro album's from 1980. For 1980, it's fantastic and way ahead of those other bands.
Mm-hmm.
And he reminds me a lot of Ian McCulloch. You can hear there's a Doors influence, but you can also hear where some of the 80s bands got the influence from these guys.
And both bands are from Liverpool.
Yeah, yes. You mean Echo and the Bunnymen
And Teardrops.
Yeah. Do you know what? Like one of the songs reminds me of. Do you remember the band Ministry?
Yo, yeah.
When Ministry, before they went and turned into an industrial band, they were like a pop band. And they did that song. I wanted to tell her, but I look in her eyes. I wanted to tell her, whatever. It reminded me a lot of some of this
It was
Julian
electronic
Pope stuff. Oh yeah, I love the album. Alan Jorgensen hates it, but I love it. But let's go back to this. So the Teardrop Explodes. Hugh, what do you think my favorite tracks on this album are?
Well, Bouncing Babies.
One of my least favorites. I'm not lying. There's two that I did not care for. That was one of them.
Okay. Treason.
You nailed it.
Treason is the one that you like. I think Treason is maybe top 6 on the album.
I think Second Head.
Love it. My favorite cut on the record. Second Head, not only is Second Head so great, how the hell were they not sitting there saying when White Wedding came out by Billy Idol that they weren't saying that, hey, this is just Second Head.
Yeah.
Right? Do 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 do. It's the same group.
Exactly. Aye.
All right, what's my second favorite?
Either the first track or
You got it. I'm drowning.
yeah.
First track. I fucking love it. When that, first of all, guys, it's like this fake brass, kind of like poppy British type of thing going on in the 80s. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, when he hits those those chords, and there's a little dissonance to them, I'm like, oh, that's killer. And I was like, oh, they're going to do it again. And they didn't. And then I was like, I thought they're going to go back to back with it, but they went once and it left you wanting more. And then they did it later in the song again. I enjoyed it. I thought the second song was good. I thought Poppies in the Field is a decent song.
Mm-hmm.
What was the second one called? Sleeping
Gas.
Sleep. Yeah. Great song. Great record. The first 5 songs, which was probably the first half of the album, like the album side, fantastic.
The strongest part, I would agree.
It's great. It's great. The last song on the album, When I Dream, is good too.
Yeah, the slow one.
Yeah.
What I like about them as well is there's an amalgam of styles there.
Yeah, well,
You've got
there is, but his,
stuff.
the vocal style, I wish he would expand a little bit. I thought by the time I got to the second half of the album, it was a little shouty. And Bouncing Babies and Brave Boys, I was like, yeah, these two songs, I would have taken off Brave Boys and Bouncing Babies, and I would have put Kilimanjaro from the Outtakes in and Reward in.
I wouldn't disagree with that.
Yeah.
I mean, especially Reward, yeah.
Hey, welcome, Jose. Yeah, no, I just was curious what you thought, because what I'm doing and the amount of time that I care and consideration that I took to learn to, I listened to it a lot, because I was like, very rarely, like in my life, does somebody say to me, you need to check out this record. And then I go to that record and I'm like, and I don't expect me to do it to anybody either. Like, I knew when you guys did a No Corrosion of Conformity, I knew Joe would like that record. It's a great record. But when somebody like you, Hugh, where it's like somebody that's, I can't throw much. If I say, you're there on it. If I say anything, you're you know what I mean? So it was like when somebody does it to me now, and I can only think that somebody did it to me in like 2013 when somebody recommended that I check out the Laura Nyro Gonna Take a Miracle record, and I was blown away how much I loved it, and this record as well. I was very I was like, this is an album I should have known. Now
that's the kind of stuff I was listening to a lot of alternative stuff even at a very young age.
Yeah.
When most people were, I would say, were listening to whatever was current rock or pop, I was always.
Well, isn't that because a lot of England, like in England and Europe, they raise you guys to be gay, right? But that's not right.
What does Archie Bunker say? England is a bad country.
No, but I mean, no, I'm telling you, no.
Like post-punk and new wave. There was so many
of
bands
course.
that come out
Yeah.
with that most people would never heard.
I agree, which was why, like I said, I'm sure after listening to this record, I'm sure that Kilimanjaro was a big record in Europe when it came out.
It was.
Yeah, and in 1980, I was listening to Women and Children First by Van Halen, which I don't think Van Halen would be hitting the streets of Birmingham, Liverpool, or Glasgow, if you know what I mean.
No.
Yeah. All right, so.
Apart
Good
from
on
Jump.
me. Right.
Apart
Well, that
from
was even
Jump.
later. Yeah, but this is Women and
Oh, and
that's what I was thinking about when you think about. And so, Joe, you're at the same age. You know, it's funny. I heard, was it Fools on the radio the other day in the gym? And then Take Your Whiskey Home came on like an hour later.
Oh, that's a good one.
And I'm sitting there, and it just brings me back to being 12 years old that summer of 1980. And I'm like, my God, I remember that summer so vividly from these songs. And it's weird because I've listened to that album over and over again my whole life. You know how like sometimes a record will lose its flavor of nostalgia because you play it too much. Like,
Yeah.
and I don't know why this just came into my head. Do you remember the band Edie Brickell and the New Bohemians?
Yes.
When that album came out, Shooting Rubber Bands at the Stars, I think I listened to that album like daily. I thought it was a great record. And at the same time, I'm listening to heavy stuff. I was listening to jazz, but I thought it was a great record. And then I never listened. I don't think I've listened to it again since. If I put it on today, I bet you I would just have visions of 1989, 90, whenever the hell that record came out.
Yeah, it sounds like about the time it was 88, I think it was.
Yeah, it could have been. I just when I think about it, but it brings me back. Like if I hear a song in my head, it puts me back right into Alston. That when I was in the Alston area,
I didn't like it. She got on my nerves. I didn't like that whole
Yeah.
thing. Though
Now
in all
she's
fairness,
on
I
Paul
didn't listen to
Simon's
the whole
nerves.
album. Yeah. Well, she mildly looked a little like Carrie Fisher, so that was the next natural progression for Paul Simon.
Yeah, I mean,
Carrie
I thought
Fisher
it was.
got
I
too
think it
old.
was a good record. You know what else came out around that time was Fleetwood Mac's Greatest Hits, which I always love those two Christy McVie songs, As Long As You Follow and Everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first times I heard those songs. Anyways. I know Hugh says Greatest Hits albums are for babysitters and grandmothers. No, that's from the Kids in the Hall. You ever watch the Kids in the Hall?
Oh yeah,
He goes to the record shop. You guys have the Doors Greatest Hits? Greatest Hits are for babysitters and grandmothers. What? But anyway,
that was a great show.
Yeah. But yeah, so Hugh, interesting. Like I said, when I listened to that record, it's much better than the first few Cure records. What was 17 Seconds? That's the second one. I couldn't think of the name when I left you that voice message.
Right.
17 Seconds and Big Boy. No, and Boys Don't Cry. No, 3. I forget. What's the first Cure album in Europe? 3 Imaginary Boys.
No, wasn't that a Michael Jackson album?
That was Michael Jackson's Fantasy.
I'm not really sure, to be honest.
Yeah. And do you know why Michael Jackson shopped at Marshall's, Hugh?
I do.
All boys' pants are half off.
Mm.
Thank you, folks. For more politically incorrect material, please see my Twitter feed. All right. What else do we got on the docket today?
I have no idea.
Well, you said you listened to 2 albums. What was the other album?
Well, the album I had suggested to listen to was the Aliens Ate My Buick, which I'll recommend again that everyone can give a listen to. I think it's a great record.
I didn't take it as a suggestion as homework, so I was going to listen to it, but it's not for this.
It's a great record to listen to, and God, I was thinking of one this week too, and I was like, "Oh, that would even be a really great album that people don't know." But yeah, I just say listen, give that album a listen because I think it'll give you a different view of Thomas Dolby. I think he was really good.
From what I've heard,
Hey, Uncle Remus, exactly. Whoa!
He played all synthesizers on 4 on the Floor.
Yep. Yeah. Who didn't play on Foreigner 4?
Yeah, exactly.
Ian McDonald.
I knew you were going to go there because I could have sworn I had a Mandela moment and thought Ian McDonald played on Foreigner 4, but it was Junior Walker played sax.
Excellent stuff. Excellent stuff.
The Aliens
So
Ate
Hugh,
My
what other
Buick.
record? What's that?
The Aliens Ate My Buick. There's some great funky beats on it as well.
Oh, absolutely. Well, George Clinton's on the record on "May the Q Be With You,"
Brilliant.
and I love "Budapest" by Blimp. Budapest by Blimp.
Mhm.
I think it's a fantastic song. I love the
I love
chords.
Airhead.
What's that?
I love Airhead.
Oh, Airhead's fantastic. My friends say she's a dumb blonde, but they don't know she dyes her hair. That's great. She thinks the fighting in Central America's easily solved. Yeah. Killer. Killer stuff. So, Joe, what was going on for your week other than moving your room or your equipment into
that
your
was
room?
2 weeks ago. Yeah, that was
Yeah, but little by little, the transformations are occurring. There's like a new thing.
Yeah,
every
there's still
weekend.
some more I need to do, and I did other stuff I did in my office. I moved the 2 computers in there around because one I have my personal and I have the work one. So I kind of, I wanted them kind of like that because I don't want to just stare at the work one for 9 hours a day. So at least, while I'm on calls or in between calls, I could surf and, catch up on emails and all that other stupid crap.
Johnny Kramer's doing the curls there. Did you hear him? He's counting.
Yeah, I told him he was doing corned beef curls.
901. I do heavyweight, and I don't mess around too much. Like I alternate. Like maybe every third week I'll go in and do a light day. But for the most part, oh, thanks, Uncle Remus. I talked to Howie shortly after that show. He'll come on the show again soon too. He was in Florida visiting his folks. I talked to him like the week after. But yeah, anyways, Johnny, I try to go heavy. I always worked on the Mike Menser way of training.
Yeah, I wouldn't suggest
saying,
doing
bro?
as much as 20 though. It's like if you want to do it, it's like 10 to 12.
Is it
3
me- is it
sets
me or
is
him?
common, but
Who?
what's this?
I'm getting like a real choppy thing here. I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, well, your video is chopping up a little bit. Is it
Okay, so it was
now,
me.
or-
That's what I asked. I said, "Is it me,
Yeah.
my signal, or yours?" I didn't know.
Now that I notice it, when I'm looking at the 4 squares, I thought it was everyone, but yours was blurry. Everyone else is nice and sharp. Yours is getting pixelated.
Yeah. Ed Dana's live, just busting out licks. Excellent. That's all good. But yeah, anyways, Johnny Kramer, I tend to go the Mike Menser way of heavy duty. I train heavy.
Yeah, was it like 10 with the warm-up weight, then 10 with the heavy weight, then 7 with the heavier weight, and then 4 with even heavier weight, correct?
That's what I do
That's
something
what you
like
do
that.
usually.
I'm more, and more or less. But yeah,
Well, I'm going by the list you gave me. That's not how I do it.
I jump more to the jump. I'll do 10 for a warm up, and then I'm banging in with maybe 7 and then maybe 5, and I'm done. Depending on how heavy I go, I'll do 3 sets. Do we get a lot of requests? We get people asking all the time. I mean, for the most part, I will just turn like if let's put it this way: if we weren't on camera, I'd probably just be like, "No, get away." we usually don't care. But because we're on camera, we want people to have fun and not throw eggs at us.
Yeah, I typed in chat. I said number 1 request is stop playing.
Oh yeah.
Last night they wouldn't let you go. You're putting stuff away, and they kept going. Oh, we want our money's worth.
Oh no! That was
is that what
a
they
couple of
said?
weeks ago. We played till 1. They kept asking for more. It was a lot more
Just
people. When
one
it thins
more.
out like that, we don't care. I mean, you know what happens? And you guys can't see what Chrissy, who's the owner's girlfriend, she'll come around the bar, and 2 of the other employees come sit at the bar. So when they're yelling out 1 more, That's the employees who just want to sit and watch a song.
Oh,
It's not the people from the night. So
I thought
that's
that was going at the table.
no,
Okay, we
and they're
usually
all
have
like,
people.
Because I was attacking them in chat. I'm like, cheap bastards. They harassed them for one more song. Go put a tip in the jar.
oh yeah, no, those girls were. I agreed with that comment when you said that, because those girls kept coming up and the girl says to me, hold on, let me just answer. The song I won't play is I won't play Brown Eyed Girl, anything like that.
Anything from King Arthur on Ice.
What?
Yeah.
The songs I won't play are Love Stinks, Wonderful Tonight,
I'll play all
Mustang
those.
Sally.
Mustang Sally I won't play.
Wonderful Tonight.
Mustang
Oh,
Sally's $1,000. It's $100 just to request it. I still may not play it. It's $1,000 for me to be guaranteed to play it.
Yeah, give me some money. I may.
The song's name is familiar. Who does that one?
Mustang
Wilson.
Sally?
Wilson Pickett.
Yeah.
Yep.
Horrible.
And it's been covered by tons of friggin'
That's
people.
what.
So this
yeah, that's why I'm
this
thinking.
girl comes up to me and Jim. She was the blonde running the show last night for her friend Lisa. So I'm like, oh, that's Lisa? She goes, well, there's 4 of them named Lisa. I'm like, oh, great. So then she says, any way you could play dance songs? We came out to dance. And I said, and you thought what better than come to a bar that has 2 guys playing acoustic, slow, soft songs from the 70s? Fucking idiot. Hey, can you guys play some dance music? Yes, we're going to play Harry Chapin's Taxi, followed by Go Fucking Slit Your Wrist and Get the Fuck Lost.
I'm riding in my taxi.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, do you mind if we play At 17 by Janis Ian? Will you guys get up there and dance to that?
So, Dave, how many Pat Benetars were there that night?
What's that?
How many Pat Benetars were there?
Oh, yeah, right. There were 3 girls there. So, yeah, the girl kept coming up. She goes, I'm Lisa. I'm like, I'm not Lisa. My name is Ju. She's just like, what the hell are you singing? I'm like, it was a big hit when I was a kid. And I'm like, I'm like, you guys should know it because you're definitely my age. You son of a bitch.
You should sing the Bart Simpson song. Lisa.
Yeah, no, let's not.
Hey, come on.
Come on.
Come on now. Simmer down now.
Yeah, the girl wanted Bon Jovi. She was like, I only want to hear Bon Jovi. Well, the thing was, she's like, can you guys play Wanted Dead or Alive? We're like, no. Probably could figure it out, but if we did, we'd do it later. So then we're like, all right, we got a song we're going to do. She's like, oh, I know what it is. Like, she thinks we're going to do Wanted Dead or Alive. We're like, no, you don't. Get the hell away from us. It was... It was an interesting evening, but it's fun. Yeah, I got to say, it's my favorite place to play. The staff is awesome. The people that come, the regulars are all townies to the town of Plymouth, and they're all super nice people. They really have a fun time, and they treat us well, and so we have fun.
Did you have the short
We have
ribs?
fun.
What'd you have to eat?
I had a chicken Caesar salad. Yeah. Yeah, it's... Anyways, it was a fun time. So next Saturday, I'll be there with Emily because Jim had something to go on, and it'll be fun because Emily and I, we do a different set of songs, and we've been doing a lot of the Jim songs lately, so it'll be nice to get a little bit back to the Bee Gees and some R&B stuff that I like to play. And we're trying to learn a few new ones, some Elton John and whatnot. And then we're also playing Friday night, too, at the Cigar Bar.
Oh.
So it'll be good. I don't know if I'm going to... I guess I'll film both, maybe. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But it's fun. It's easy gigs. Easy peasy. Next week, we're playing Reward by Teardrop Explodes. No, I'm kidding. There is another song that I can't think of the title where I was just like, every time it comes on, I'm like, I can't listen to it for like 3 times in a row. I had to get rid of it.
Is it a deep cut on Ozzy's Boneyard?
No. Oh, the deep
Like
cuts.
Deep Guns and Roses cut.
The deep cuts on Ozzy's Boneyard, I realize, is Jealous Lover from Rainbow. They like playing that one over and over. You know what I just can't stand? Stop playing live fucking versions. Stop it. Who wants to hear, who wants to hear Holy Diver live? Or do you want, if you're listening to you want to hear the version you grew up with. I don't know why they keep doing it.
if I want to hear something live, I'm watching it on YouTube live because I want to see the guy playing the guitar and all that other stuff.
Or if it's Cheap Trick, I want you to want me.
The only
that has to be live.
that has to be live. You
But
know,
that
if
was
you're
a record
listening-
recorded for live. You know what I'm saying? And it was
The single was recorded.
And the same
live.
thing, the same thing with sound. The song remains the same. Yeah, that's a recording of a concert, so you want to hear that live. But normally,
classic vinyl on Sirius has been playing Tom Petty's outtake of Refugee.
Why?
And I'm like, guys, this is an outtake. This is what he didn't want us to hear.
Yeah, that's
Why are
that's
you going
what I'm
out of your way
saying.
to
Why
play
would
me
you do
something
that?
Tom did not want you to hear, me to hear?
Exactly.
You know who wants to hear that? Some schlep who's like the hugest Tom Petty fan that bought the album to go, oh, now I can hear what the original version sound. Good for you. That's great.
Yeah,
Wonderful. I just
there's
want to hear
value
the
to
fucking
it.
cut that was on the record on the
There's
radio.
value to it out of curiosity for yourself, but don't broadcast it.
What is it? Yeah,
I
exactly.
said,
Yeah.
don't broadcast it. It's like, it release on the albums. It's a curiosity thing. Hey, I can see why he didn't want this on there.
Yeah, Cheech, last night it was okay in the tip jar. It wasn't overflowing like a couple of weeks ago. A couple of weeks ago it was fantastic. Yeah, pour some sugar on me. Yeah. So anyways, that's been driving me nuts on Sirius when I listen to Ozzy's Boneyard, and it's like, and then when they really want to kick me in the balls is when they play a live Metallica track, because then I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake. It's like, now I got to hear this band live. Christ. And yeah, it's just
I'm almost glad I don't have Sirius.
well, I got to tell you, the Groove, they always play, the extended versions of songs, which is excellent when you're doing cardio, because it's like, I'll be listening to Working Day and Night by Michael Jackson, and things going on for 40 minutes. I'm like, wait, I'm almost done. Now, let me just see what's going on here. What is that LTD going on behind you?
Yeah, I was going to ask that.
Oh, yeah. Well, I could go grab it.
Go get it.
Hang on.
Oh, yeah, I'm with you there. When that acoustic version of Layla came out, I was like, who likes this? People like this version? Play me the version that I like to hear that reminds me of Goodfellas. When Johnny Roast Beef is killed in the Cadillac. It's in my mother's name. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Grandpa with his guitar.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Okay. Had to set the mic. Let's see. It's what the hell's the model number of this?
Oh, also, before Krell gets too into this, after you're done, Krell, I want to discuss the conversations we've had the last two times at the cigar bar. Songwriter one and the guitar player one.
Oh, yeah. It's an MH.
You're going to enjoy it.
I'm guessing it's an MH. Yeah.
And what it is that I modified it with this Evo 2 in the bridge, and there's Ibanez Super 58. I'm not a fan of gold hardware, but with this color of guitar, that gold looks really sexy.
What does it say
Nice
on the
top.
12th fret?
That's the model number.
Model number.
Yep.
What does it say?
MH 100 QMT. Quilt maple top.
They put
I've got
that
a blue
on
one over there.
on the 12th fret?
Yep.
They may have well just written guitar on the 12th fret. Guitar.
It really is a waste.
They do that with all the models.
Yep.
But give it a cool name and put the cool name there.
I know,
Yeah.
exactly. I know. I agree.
I think I had a typewriter
Ibanez-
with that model name.
Ibanez has the worst model names.
Yeah.
Two RG239.
I got this super cheap brand new back in 2000.
74 Monkey Tennis 7.
Got this super cheap brand new back in 2013. It was one of those things where they were selling on sale, and I had a coupon that they had to honor, and it's like
I think I had a Singer sewing machine that had that same model number. MH.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
it's very low action.
It's like a honey quilt.
Without buzzing. Yep.
Lovely color.
Yeah, I love that tailpiece.
And the string true body. Yeah, and this is for sale. And when I pulled out a case and put it on the stand, I'm questioning whether I should sell it.
If anybody wants to know what I'm talking about, hey guys, how can we save money on this guitar? Well, instead of a tailpiece, why don't we just run the strings through the body? Great idea. Well, that'll make the string angle.
Gives it more tone.
Ryan's right there with it.
It touches more wood. There's more sustain, Dave.
Yeah, the string angle comes down at such a harsh angle, though. People may not like it on those sharp tunematic bridges. Who cares? We're saving money. Great. Thanks.
That's right. Sewing machine and quilting, that goes together.
All right. I was wondering what the quilting joke was. Yeah, so it's funny. So Krellbar and I, we smoke cigars, and I don't know if you guys saw the cigar hang we had the other night. It was like, I think it was like 8 or 9 guys hanging around. It was a good night. Everyone was like out because there was going to be a storm that night. And so everyone wanted to get a smoke in, and everyone hangs out. And conversation started. This guy was telling me how Eric Clapton is the greatest guitar player of all time. Just going on. And I said, well, I can respect that he's your favorite. But I mean, what is your criteria for best? Is he because he wouldn't come in any contest that I would have.
He's not even the best guitar player in the Yardbirds.
Exactly. That's 100% correct. He wasn't the best guitar player also that played in John Mayall's group.
True.
Right. So, but that doesn't, I'm not trying to take away from Eric's a great artist.
Green, by the way.
A great artist. And then it was funny because today came full circle when the guy was like telling me, another guy was talking guitar and he asked me what I thought of George Harrison. And I said, well, tell me what George Harrison solo you enjoyed as a lead player. And he says, While My Guitar Gently Weeps. I'm like, well, that's Eric Clapton. So he was shocked to find out. But anyways, the conversation that we were talking about was, we were talking first about guitar players and how people, and I was explaining, like Van Halen is probably my favorite guitar player, or Jimmy Page. It just depends on the day, or Steve Wariner. One of those 3 guys on any given day I'd consider my favorite guitar player. But I don't consider any one of them the best. I can't even say on a technical merit alone of playing that they'd be in my top 20. But I mean, I could say, and it's only because it's my list in my head. Either way, both lists are subjective to me. One I'm trying to be a little bit more scientific about, but still, so I was trying to explain to him, and just about the blues. I said, there was a time when Clapton did a show with Jeff Beck and Stevie Ray Vaughan, and I thought Clapton was the weakest one on the stage. Now, again, that's preference of, although I probably like Eric Clapton's music a hell of a lot more than I like Stevie Ray Vaughan's.
Mm-hmm.
And I probably prefer and would buy an Eric Clapton album before I bought a Stevie Ray Vaughan's. But I think Stevie's a better guitar player. Does that make sense?
Yeah, Clapton has the songs.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's an artist. It's like,
Yeah.
I even compared him to Elton John. I said, Elton John, people say, oh, Elton John's one of the best piano players ever. He's an enjoyable artist, and I love his songs, but you go to any sophomore year Juilliard student, and they're going to smoke his ass.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They can play.
Big time.
Yeah. Uncle Remus says that old joke of why is, people used to say, why is Clapton like a cup of coffee? Sucks without cream. Of course, I drink my coffee black. So, yeah, Chet Atkins is great. But anyways, so that was we had this long conversation, but it was a brutal conversation because people kept saying that I was being a snob. And I'm like, I'm not being a snob. I'm telling you the guys who I think are the best aren't even guys who I enjoy. But I can recognize their ability. I'm saying just from a playing. Now, what is that going to, that and a couple of bucks is going to get you a cup of coffee at Dunkin' Donuts. But what does that mean? It means nothing. Point was, I'm saying when people talk about musicians, they're talking about their favorites.
Yeah.
I said, one thing I can tell you is, which sparked a whole other conversation, is that I can't wrap my head around that anybody including Rolling Stone magazine that claims it, would put Bob Dylan as the greatest songwriter of all time. Steve Howard, a great player. Great player.
Lousy tone.
Lousy tone, yeah.
Oh, horrible.
Though I will say his best tone, I think, was on Asia. Asia's first album. That's
Well,
probably.
I don't know. Drama had some good tone when he played that Strat on the Drama album by Yes. Hey, Pam, what's happening? No, exactly. So then I was going on and on about Dylan. And I said, well, tell me some Dylan songs. And then after you tell me those Dylan songs, are any of those songs better than your favorite Beatles songs? So they're number 2 on the list always. How are they number 2? And then if that's the case, can you name a Bob Dylan song that's better than Stevie Wonder's catalog?
Well, you know what that this is a phenomenon that's always drove me nuts. At the time, that's what people said, and it gets repeated until it becomes, it's almost like unwritten law. Like there was something like, you know what drives you crazy with them saying he's the best, and I've seen that, and I'm like, no, sorry, no. But my personal one is something that was repeated when I was a teenager, and I've heard people that weren't even born when I was listening to this artist saying it, and I almost lost my fucking mind on them. Is they used to say about Dave Murray, you know, 2 guitar players in Iron Maiden, Dave Murray and Adrian Smith. Oh, those guys are great, but they're not as tight. And they would mention the 2 guys for, you know, Glenn Tipton and the other one from Judas Priest, and that would make my head, because I'm Maiden. I made first concert I ever saw was Maiden. So if you said that near me, you started a fucking war.
I also don't think it's
and they've been saying that for fucking decades. And I saw people that weren't even alive when I was listening to that fucking argument being made, repeating the same fucking shit. Come up with something new.
I don't think it's true. I think Maiden's much tighter.
They are fucking much tighter.
Oh, they're tighter, yeah.
But people,
I think it's apples and oranges,
like it's law.
Music.
That's where that thing, because they were saying the same thing about Dylan. I'm like, no, he's not. I'll take Jim Morrison any fucking day of the week.
All I have to say about Bob Dylan is give me 5 songs. Give me his 5 best songs. I'll name Stevie Wonder's 5 songs that I don't even think are his best, and they're going to be better.
Hell, Robbie Krieger was a good songwriter.
Yeah.
Light My Fire, Touch Me. Oh, Hit Me.
Yeah,
Hit Me,
I'll take Jim Morrison over him any day of the week. Because that was the Vietnam was big at the time. He was writing the protest songs, but why do you keep repeating things? Because you heard someone say it.
But those songs were terrible. I'm sorry.
There was a few good ones, but they're okay. They were great for what they were. But I you know, like you said, I hit the Beatles. You know.
Yep. I think Tipton and Downing were good guitar players, but I wouldn't compare them or talk about tightness, Ty and Maiden, because I think both bands were good. I think Maiden was a tighter band.
Yeah. Well, at the time, you know, Priest had been established. Maiden was new on the scene, and there were only 2 bands you knew that had 2 guitar players. So, you know, it always, I guess someone for the argument gave it the default to Judas Priest, but they're still saying that 40 fucking years later, and it wasn't true back then. What are you hearing? What are you hearing that I'm not? I'm a guitar player. What were you hearing that I'm not? That then, because I tell you right now, the guy producing that album would have said, wait a minute, you fucking guys got to tighten up on bringing a studio musician in to play those parts.
I love Martin Birch production. I don't care. What was the guy's name? Tom Allum that produced the Judas Priest records. Shane McGowan, Hannah Baum. I brought up Tom Waits because I was bashing Dylan. Someone said, what do I think of Springsteen? And I said, as a songwriter, he's 100 times better than Dylan. And then I said, on top of that, I'd take Waits.
I could name you 100 Tom Waits songs that are better than any Dylan song.
You know, when I learned the argument, this is when because I used to get, you know, he's better than him. And you spend hours on that bullshit. You know, when I learned the truth and that shit don't matter and it's what you said, that's your best to you. But if we're going to argue technical, I could bring a guy out like, wait a minute, you're going to say that Clapton's better than a guy like Al Di Meola? One of
Right,
them
yeah.
guys, you know, you
All right,
It's
can't.
apples and
But
oranges.
the thing is, I used, you know, the
No,
church
it's
I
not.
used to work
It's
for.
guitar and guitar, but he's right. It's
Yeah.
if you're gonna say technically which one's better, Clapton, you know, go home.
I will say this: if Demiola tried playing blues, he'd sound stiff as a board.
I don't know. I've never
But
heard him do it.
but
It's
let me
not
tell
his
you,
thing.
and that's the other thing. You can make an argument, and you can make a very valid argument, and probably be right that 9 out of 10
Bubba
guys
Dirty
you name
Bookstore.
are going to be technically better than a player like BB King. But I'd rather listen to him hit that high B note than any of those other guys any day of the week. That's my personal preference. But we had
Yeah,
a guy at the church who I worked at. Let me tell this story. This is when I realized it's all bullshit. Guy whose name was Roy had dreadlocks down to his feet. Don't get near him because he fucking smelled like, you know, I used to call the dragon's tail. Roy would walk by you and the dragon's tail would come and fucking knock you over. He was homeless. He lived in the bushes around the church. Roy had an acoustic guitar. And I'm watching now. I'm a guitar player. I've taught guitar lessons. I'm not on your level. I knew the basics. I'm watching him play and I'm sitting there because he's murdering this poor fucking acoustic. And one of my friends who's also a volunteer walks up and goes, "Man, isn't he good?" And I looked at him. It was like the way that fucking Lou Costello, when he saw a ghost, would look at somebody, you know.
You were
and that's
you were the mighty sharp Eddie Murphy, good and terrible.
it was and I would listen to other people. Man, he's really good, and I'm like, he was literally just smashing the strings and not hitting a note.
Right.
He was just whatever, and
Right.
And that's when I was says, you know, the general public don't have a fucking clue. So if you're playing to impress other guitar players, you're gonna make five. Like that, I heard that argument from Satriani years ago. You're gonna make $5 or $10. You know, don't worry about it.
You can play a million notes. You can play a million notes for 3 people or 3 notes for a million people.
Well, that's what they say, the jazz chords. You can play 3 chords for $1 million. Or no, 1 million chords and make $3.
Yeah,
I remember one time.
You know, but the thing was, like, let's say, so Krelbar disparaged Al Di Meola by saying he can't play blues, and I don't know if he can or he can't. But that argument is. Let me tell you why it's not. But no, it's not even important. Wayne Krantz, who we talked about today, can play the blues, and he fucking smokes at jazz, and I think he's better than Di Meola. But again, here's a guy that smokes Clapton at that. Now, Clapton is great at what Clapton does. I'm not taking away from that. And for someone that says Clapton's your favorite guitar player, listen, man, I get it. Van Halen's my favorite guitar player. I could break down in lessons for you to show you what he's doing and why it works and why musically it works. But it's really a lot of he's not as technical as some of these other great players like Alan Holdsworth. I mean, he couldn't touch Holdsworth, but he's my favorite, and I still respect him as being my favorite, but that doesn't mean I can't put him in realistically and objectively say he doesn't belong, you know, on the same roster with guys like Holdsworth. But he's a great player still, Eddie. And Clapton's very great at what he does. I mean, Forever Man's a great solo. There's a lot of great things Eric Clapton does. Do I think he's a great guitar player? No, but I think he's a great artist.
Well, you know what? He's the best Eric Clapton out there, and that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, no,
but you know what I mean. A better Eric Clapton than Eric Clapton. No one's going to be a better BB King.
I tell you what,
King.
Joe, Roy was the best Roy that was out there too.
I don't get it.
No, Roy, the homeless guy, Roy, who was hacking at the guitar and stuff.
Oh,
he's the best.
Yeah. So,
ka-ching.
You know, but my point is
2 years. Sorry, Dave.
But when you get into a conversation,
I was just going to say to Crowbar, it took almost 2 years. We finally found Roy's family. They had been looking for him. Roy stopped taking his medication, and he didn't even know who he was. But we reunited him with his family who had been searching for him. So
wow.
That was we had a happy ending.
So, well, the point that I was making is when you talk to non-musicians, or you talk to people who are just so set in what they like as being has to be the best. We're talking about what your preference is, like Billy Gibbons is a great guitar player. All these guys, if you're playing on a pro level, you're pretty great. You're great enough. Are there tiers of ability? Of course.
Mhm.
Are they important? Well, I wouldn't sit there and say to somebody, Eric Clapton's the greatest guitar player that ever lived, when I think he plays pretty pedestrian. But if you like that, and blues is what moves you, then it moves you, and that's that. But you don't have to come out and then go, he's the greatest. Well, he's not the greatest. You like him, I get it. You like him. You want him to be your guy. You want him to. But if that was the greatest guitar player, the world is fucked.
Well, it's a weird thing because I know what you're saying, but for me, it's like we're not 17 anymore. There's no more greatest. It's who you like. If he's the greatest to you, he is the greatest to you.
Right, but there is an upper echelon of players of like the Holdsworth and the Frank Gambalis.
Yeah.
You're not going to sit there and say Clapton is as good as Frank Gambale, are we? I mean, we'd have to be out of our fucking minds. It's not even the execution as so much is the understanding of speaking the language.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm trying to think of like, imagine if you go to another country and speak a language and 10 of your friends go and you speak the language the best. And then you say to one of those guys who's been speaking his whole life, this guy speaks French the best. And the guy hears you and he's like, you're all fucked. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
No, there's better and worse.
We had arguments like that.
I mean,
the big argument when I was in high school was, if someone said someone was better than Jimmy Page, and the big argument back then was, no, Page is better than Clapton, but he's not.
Page is sloppy. Page is. I used to hate.
I got the sloppy all the time. I got that all the time from people.
Page is sloppy. Oh, really? Well, here's my guitar. Let me tune it to the way he plays Bronniar. Can you play it for me like that? Oh, you can? That's interesting.
Yeah.
So you're going to judge him on the one live concert where he's fucking heroined out of his mind?
Yeah, weighed 20 pounds.
Heartbreak was kind of sloppy. I mean, he was sloppy in some respects, and he was great in others.
But a lot of what they played was blues based, and that shit was slop. You played it sloppy.
I love the fact that he could write songs, like Dave would say, and the fact that he was a riffmeister. I mean, it's like
his playing had nothing to do with his lead ability, and no one gives a shit if a song has a solo. No one cares when a song has a solo or not. The 70s are done, and that era was done.
Yeah, that when the criteria to become a good guitar, to be considered the best guitar player, went down to what someone was doing during a 30-second solo.
Right.
That's when everything went out. That's when credibility went out the fucking door.
Who's the guy in the movie? He's a comedian in the movie The Pick of Destiny who plays the
Jack
the
Black?
MC.
The
MC.
one that told me his name. You're the one that told me his name.
Yeah, I'm blanking on his name, but he does a great job.
I love that movie.
It's a Paul
Tompkins.
Paul
F. Tompkins. He does a great joke where he says he goes to a jazz thing and he's like, "What's up with jazz? Everyone gets a solo, even the bass player." He's like, he's like, "What the hell's up with this music?" He's like, and they're all sitting there. That one guy will play one thing and look at the other guy, and they all start laughing like they get jazz jokes. He's like, "Oh," the guy's like, "Oh, ha 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 ha." He does a whole great bit of why he hates jazz. It's hilarious. But you can like Phil Keaggy. You can love the way he plays, and you can be your favorite guitar player. I know a lot of people that love Phil Keaggy's playing. Whatever style of music he's playing is irrelevant. He's a great player.
His acoustic stuff is great too. I mean, he can play hard fusion.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many guys.
One of my top fives. Like, I wish we have a conversation. Who's your top five? Everyone's probably got a personal. In my top
favorite, or see, that's my whole thing. Is
No,
it your
the top
personal
five
top?
for me, for you.
Okay,
So
your
who's
favorites.
for you?
Your
Who you
favorites.
love? Yeah.
Your favorites.
Whose work I'm bringing to an album? Sorry, to a desert album. I adore Albert Collins. Most people don't even know who he is.
Mm-hmm.
I fucking love
The
Albert
Iceman
Collins.
Iceman.
But you know, when you get 3 different nicknames, you got to be pretty fucking good.
Well, of all
Razor
the
Blade, the Iceman, the Texas. What was it? The Texas something.
the Iceman.
Razor Blade. Yeah, the Iceman.
He loves that.
And
Jerry
all his
curl.
albums had all
He
all
did
his
love it.
albums had ice in the title, like ice picking.
Yes,
Right.
And he loves Soul Glow.
He does.
He loved it. He loved. There was that time.
He loved adventures in babysitting too.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm asking. Like, though, is it if you said to me 5 guitar players, you want my 5 favorite, or who do I think the 5?
I think there's. I rarely think the favorites are going to be on the same list as who you think is technically the best. It's very
Agreed.
rare. Very rare.
Agreed.
Because technically
Holdsworth
the best.
made.
Go ahead.
I could agree with
Well,
you.
Holdsworth may be the guy who kind of slips maybe into both lists,
I think.
but I don't even know.
I like Steve Lukather. I think he could slip onto both
He's
lists.
great.
easily. He's
How about
He's
amazing.
a great player.
How about
Great
Lenny
player.
Bro?
Larry Carlton.
How about
Who?
Lenny Bro? Lenny Bro.
You're not going to get anybody here that even knows who Lenny Bro. I mean,
I don't
maybe
even
some
know.
of the
I don't
chat.
know
You
who
don't
he
have to, you're asking me who I think is great. Who cares if they
Oh, you
know?
talking? I'm asking your favorites. Are you saying? Or are you
he's
saying
great?
fantastic
I mean,
player?
it's career because his drug problems, but
Fantastic
But-
player. Played the
friggin' the
the
harp
7-string
harmonics.
acoustic.
Oh my god, friggin' harp harmonics he did.
That 7-string acoustic he had.
Yeah.
He was nuts.
Joe
And-
Pass.
You watch anyone that does harp harmonics from like Eric Johnson, Larry Coryell, anyone who does that type of stuff, they all cite him as the influence on that because he was the master.
He had this girlfriend that he was nuts over. She was 3 feet tall. Thank you.
Okay.
That's a Bob Saget joke.
Friendly
Rest in
neighborhood
peace, Bob.
Spider-Man coming through.
My spidey sense is tingling. No way.
Yeah, I mean, mine would change daily. My favorite guitar players would just change to what I'm listening to. There's so many guys who I love and respect the way they play. I guess it's just when I hear someone say because I love Steve Lukather and I love Larry Carlton. And when I listen to those Steely Dan records or Larry's first album, or I listen to any of the Toto records, I'm like, these guys are the fucking balls.
Ted
But
Dean.
if when I
That's
put
awesome.
Holdsworth on, if I listen to Holdsworth, None Too Soon, and if you don't have that album, I highly recommend Alan Holdsworth, None Too Soon. It's like, who the hell can play like this guy? Or even Wayne Kranz's first record, Signals, which I loved. So many great ones. So I don't know, when it comes to even who the best are, I only know who shouldn't be in that list. Just like I know who the list of songwriters. I don't care what kind of music you like. There's no way in hell you can convince me or the Russian army going into Ukraine at the moment. You can't convince them Bob Dylan is the best songwriter of all time.
To Russia, Vladimir Putin is the best.
Or in the top 50. Favorite girl guitar players, I find that the statement irrelevant because I don't see sex when I hear music. So
Exactly.
if they fall in the top, they fall in the top. If I have to sit there and pick, this whole thing about diversity to me is we have the most diverse. I don't want you to have a diverse football team. I don't want you to have a diverse work environment. I just want you to have the best fucking assholes to do the job. I could give 2 shits of what color they are or what sex they are. You don't need to keep throwing the word diversity. It doesn't make you look special. It makes you look retarded.
Bottom line is, I don't care who the fuck puts me over their shoulder when I'm passed out in the burning house, as long as they can throw me over their shoulder and carry me the fuck out.
That's
Muriel Anderson is phenomenal. She is
Muriel, when you came to town. That's a Tom Waits song. Oh, Ruffalo, give me a break.
What'd Ruffalo say?
Mimi playing Albert King style guitar. That's his favorite female guitar player. What you forgot to say, Ruffalo, with the volume on mute.
Mimi from Drew Carey show.
Yeah, with the volume on mute.
I don't even know who Mimi Sounds is.
I wish she talked with a more Cockney accent, because then it would be even better. Oh, governor, that guitar sound good. Right, then it would be hilarious.
She's famous
Hello,
for two
guy.
reasons, though.
What is
Yeah,
that?
the
Hugh?
left and right
She's
breast.
famous for two reasons.
Oh,
Yeah, but you know what I mean? It's like I can't, like, who cares about, I'm like, girl guitar players? All right, I don't know. You tell me if I'm listening to something with a girl guitar player, I wouldn't care. I love the fucking Go-Go's first record. I loved Our Lips Are Sealed.
yeah.
Good stuff. I never give a shit
Dick
who the hell's
Leland was
playing
cute.
on. I don't know who really played on. I don't care. I would assume they did.
Bangles. I like the Bangles. Susanna Hoffs.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? It's like, like this whole thing with diversity. Who's your favorite black guitar? There's plenty of great black musicians, great black drummers. I mean, there's great everything. Who cares? I just said Stevie Wonder. Okay, I'm going on a limb. Thank you for making me think of this. Stevie Wonder's a better songwriter than Bob Dylan, and if you don't agree, you're racist. There's no way that white afro-wearing Jew,
Oh my
Robert
God.
Zimmerman, a.k.a. Bob Dylan, is better than Stevie Wonder.
Bob Dylan's not black. I must have been looking at the negatives.
He's Jewish. Well, at least with the name Robert Zimmerman, it is.
I'm pulling all of my music off of Spotify until you change your tune about Bob Dylan, Dave.
Charo is good.
Coochie coochie.
Well, Elroy brings up a good point. Forget about who's your favorite female guitarist. Who's your favorite female guitarist that guest starred on Love Boat?
Who played?
Can we
for
keep it to
Deacon Dark?
Charo? Can you name someone else besides
I think
Charo?
that's it.
Deacon Dark. Deacon
Yeah.
Dark rules. He played piano and guitar.
Get that Levine kid. He's an anti-Semite.
Hey, Uncle Remus wants to know if I remember the Great Cat. Very interesting to listen to her. Apparently, she was a classically trained violinist, and she just shredded guitar and stuff. And
Oh, yeah.
it was just in your face, and I love the attitude and stuff.
She
but,
had
I
the
mean, I don't
musical
think she's
taste.
great.
She had
Yeah.
the musical taste, but less testosterone than Vinnie Vincent.
Yeah, it was what Vinnie Vincent wanted to be, including being
Yeah,
a
exactly.
woman. Yeah, exactly.
He was pissed she looked good in a pantsuit.
Yeah, and she could play piano.
Talk about someone who made a mess of their career.
Oh, career. Show? You don't have a show. Ooh, name the movie, gents.
Show you don't. I know it, but I can't show.
Thanks, Mike.
Oh, that's Casino.
No.
Is that when Ace Rothstein was doing the show? No, I know what
Not
movie
Casino.
it is.
I'll
It's
give you
not
a hint. We do
No, you don't have a show.
what do we do? Sharing the line, just the two of us together.
We've only just begun.
We've only
we
just
do that
begun.
one.
Well, the way I see it, Shooter, we've only just begun.
Anyways, the movie was The Prestige, and have you guys seen that movie?
Oh, once, and
The
I always
Prestige.
confused it with that other one.
Show? You don't have a show.
Was Justin Timberlake in that?
No, it's Hugh Jackman,
Hugh Jackman.
Christian Bale,
the older guy.
Michael Caine.
What was the one with Paul Giam, The Illusionist?
Right.
Yeah,
I-
that was
I-
with
I got those two mixed up all the time.
yeah. Prestige was better, but it's good. Yeah, we've only just begun to live.
Yeah, Carl Weathers' version of that and Happy Gilmore was great.
You didn't answer in the form of a question, Dave. Okay, yeah, very good.
What is?
We have a lot of laughs with her album. Anyways, so like I said, I mean, when you name guitar players, we're including all race, all genders. You can say Vinnie Vincent. We're not sure if the transformation is done with him yet, what's going on. But it doesn't matter. Whether it's a man or a woman, whoever your favorites are your favorites. That's funny.
Huge Jackman.
That song is
Huge Jackman's a good porn name for you know, the X-Men. Did they ever make a Sex Men in porn to
Of
compete
course.
with the X-Men?
Of course.
I'm guessing, but apparently yes.
I don't know because there isn't any stepmoms
With-
in the
With,
X-Men
with Hugh,
story.
with
So,
Hugh Jack off.
anyways,
And Patrick Stewart.
God help us all.
Yeah, God help us all.
Everyone.
What you
Raise your
talking
fire
about,
now.
everyone?
Yeah.
But anyways, I thought that was interesting. Like I said, I am not a Bob Dylan fan in case people are just tuning in and don't realize this. I never cared for his music. I think he stinks. It's just boring to me. 4-chord songs, the melodies are boring.
I
They're
like
not
All Along the Watchtower when it was performed by Hendrix.
they're not the songs that I grew up with. You know what I mean? It's not like Lennon McCartney. Those guys wrote some songs that will be around for the rest of our. I mean, like everybody knows those songs. It's gone through generations. You ask a little kid to sing a Bob Dylan song, they're gonna say, "What the fuck?" You know,
Beatles wrote B material that were hits. You know, it's like I mean, great songs, but not
their
even
B materials better
recognized.
than Dylan's A
Yeah,
game.
exactly. It's like, you know, when You Won't See Me. It's like I remember
That's a
when I
great
went through the
song.
whole Beatles catalog. I go,
Yeah.
I forgot. That's right. It's
When
like,
I call you up, your line's engaged. But when you think about it, Stevie Wonder had a great career.
and he is
A
a
great
wonder.
career. Right? I mean, just think of the songs he wrote in the 60s, and then the career he had in the 70s, and then even in the 80s. The guy was a monster.
Mhm.
A monster.
Wasn't a big fan of the songs in the 80s.
Oh, come on. Overjoyed's a fantastic song. Yeah, a couple of hits like I Just Called to Say I Love You, but for every one of those songs I can name, that girl
Do-
thinks that she's so fine. Do I Do is fantastic.
You like Do I Do? I don't like Do I Do.
What?
I don't like Do I Do.
Oh my God, it's one of my favorites. Mr. Dizzy Gillespie, blow! Ben Deo might be right about that. I think you are right. Angus Young's phenomenal. Great. Our music will it'll be relevant for a long time. I do because I think that I love that song. I got jungle fever. First of all, he doesn't like Do I Do, which is nuts. That bass line is phenomenal. That groove is incredible. All I Do is another one. All I do is dream about you.
Well, I'm not going to say every single thing from the 80s, but it's like
Yeah, he had 2 or 3
I like
bad
this.
songs, but
I like his 70s albums better. His 70s output.
he had some great songs in the 80s. There was there's another one on that Overjoyed record that I can't think of what it was at the moment.
Well, Cheech, what do you mean by our generation? What generation are you? I mean, like, you know, technically the Beatles aren't my generation. I mean, it was the generation before, but love the Beatles. And I think Beatles will definitely be relevant in 100 years.
but I think
As much as, you know, like you look back at the pioneers of jazz and stuff now 100 years ago. I mean, they won't be gone, but they won't be as popular.
Hugh, are you a Stevie Wonder fan?
Oh yeah, massive.
Oh, massive.
Massive
Do you like
fan.
Do I Do?
I prefer ABBA's. I do.
No, you don't. Do you not know Do I Do?
Of course, I like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds like he's trying to be Al Jarreau.
This is for your love.
Get my boogie down.
Do I do? Yes, I do. Oh, fantastic. Hey, now. Yeah,
I could picture Al Jarreau doing that.
Maybe. Nothing wrong with Al Jarreau.
No, not at all.
In fact, if you told me Al Jarreau's best 10 songs, I would say they're all better than Bob Dylan's.
Yeah, I could.
Falcro, what's happening? Ed Dana, have I heard an Al
name
Green song called, and now we're waiting, drum roll, please.
called? Hey,
Thank-
now he's
I'm
just
a
going to go
ram.
silent.
No,
Oh.
I have not.
How
I wasn't a
hot
huge
grit-
Al
How
Green
about
fan.
hot grits on my back?
Let's put it this way. I'm not a huge Al Green fan. Let's Stay Together. Better than any Dylan tune.
Oh, geez. Guy, it's just a great song.
Just saying.
Classic.
Yeah. I also love Love and Happiness. Love and Happiness. Ooh, dum, 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 dum. Morning, Mr. Radio. Morning, Sister Aurea. All right, Jan, pulling out Morning by Al Jarreau. That's a fantastic song. Let's Stay Together is good. Yeah, it's great. I'm just saying, what's better, that or Blowing in the Wind?
Well, the answer
The answer is that's a good one, Joe. That's great.
Okay, how do you put, and I'll go head to head with anybody who wants to come in the chat and talk about Dylan or even write it in the chat. How do you compare Bob Dylan to Barry Gibb? Barry Gibb wrote hit after hit that's fantastic, that shaped our generation. Tangled Up in Blue? It sounds like, the way he sings the song, it sounds like he's got a cup of coffee and a bagel in his hand. He's like, it's like, can you put down your food and finish the tune? We're recording. Hey, Bob, we're recording this. It's okay. I can eat and drink at the same time.
I'm eating my bagel.
A bagel? Bob, I thought you were black. I'm Jewish. It's got locks. Thanks. What do I think of Dylan exactly, Brian? I'm just saying he's always number one on these lists. And am I the only person on the planet that says, hey, what the fuck is going on here? Gamble and Huff? You're going to tell me Dylan's not only better than Lennon McCartney, he's better than Gamble and Huff, who wrote all those great Philly soul songs. This guy couldn't fucking ride the fucking pubic hair of their balls. Forget about the fact that it doesn't compare. Are we insane? Tom Bell. That's funny. Oh, it would be funny if you said breadlocks. Oh, Barry is a genius. Hey, Remus, have a great one.
Yeah, breadlocks would have been better.
Dreadlocks Holiday.
Barry Gibb is a genius.
Good night, Uncle
Agreed.
Remus.
Those songs are fantastic. You're going to compare, just forget about it. How Deep Is Your Love? I will burn the entire Dylan catalog. These fucking hipster doofses. Oh, you got to listen to Nashville Skyline. Oh, do I have to listen to it? Or can I use it as a coaster? The CD also works to keep rings off my fucking end table.
Problem is, they were all stoned out of their mind, and that's what they listened to, and so that's what they remember as the greatest stuff.
The Traveling Wigberries. There isn't a person in that band that has their original hair.
George Harrison did.
Roy Orbison.
I don't.
George Harrison did.
Orbison, come on. Orbison looks like he's wearing Joe Rockhead's helmet from the Flintstones. That just happened. That he happened to cut grooves in with a comb. Please, somebody look up that video handle with care. You tell me there's a person that has their original hair in that video. I'll be shocked. Each guy's in their like late 50s, 60s.
You know where they got the idea for that song? It was one of them was passing, the other was piece. Say, hey man, handle that with care. Hey, I got an idea.
Yeah, handle that.
Well, George Harrison was probably like 48 when Traveling Wilburys came out.
No. Well, I know when they asked Harrison in the interview if he wears wigs, he says, listen, I pay a lot of money for you to call this thing a wig. This is a hair system. Oh, wow, Jan. That sucks.
Jeez.
Our hearts are with you, Jan.
Jesus Christ.
He's from Kiev, isn't he? That's where my grandparents came from.
Fucking Russia.
All right.
I haven't had a Zim's guitars, lay, lady, lay upon my big brass bed. I will say this: "Lay Lady Lay" inspired what's his name, Billy Joel, to write a song, and I like Billy Joel's song better. And I'm not a big fan of that Billy Joel song, but it's better than the Dylan tune.
My mother liked Lay Lady Lay. She never knew it was Bob Dylan. I told her it was Bob Dylan. Her exact words were, "No, this guy's singing." That's not
Right. Well,
Bob
Bob Dylan submitted that song to be the theme to Midnight Cowboy.
Midnight Cowboy. And
But
Harry
everybody's
Nilsson.
talking beat it out.
Yeah.
Why did it beat it out? Because Bob Dylan's the greatest songwriter that ever lived.
Everybody's
Thank
talking
you.
for good songs.
Apparently, Fred O'Neill was.
I'm just saying, it's absurd to say. If somebody sits there and literally said Bob Dylan's the greatest songwriter, I'd like to go toe to toe with him on songs. I just don't even think. And for what generation is he the best songwriter? You play a Dylan song to somebody, they're like, "Oh yeah, that's a cool tune." You play somebody like an old R&B song, they're like, "Oh man, that song brings me back. It makes me happy. It does this. It brings emotion." You mean that's what a good song does? Yeah. And the other one gave you agita?
Agita or agita?
Well, it's technically it's agita.
Yeah. Well, I'm the one that would call it agita, and you'd bust my balls. So.
Yeah, I know. We've had that. Harry Nilsson had 2 people die in his apartment. Can anyone name them?
I should know this.
2 people died in Harry Nilsson's apartment at different times, not even at the same time.
Harry
Hugh
Nilsson's
should know.
like one of my favorite singers, too.
I don't
It's
know.
like
You don't?
No.
I'll give you a hint. One's a drummer.
Bonham.
The other one's a singer.
Was it Keith Moon?
Keith
Boom.
Moon.
Keith Moon is the answer. He was the second person to die at Harry Nilsson's
And the singer
flat.
wasn't Keith Ralph, was it?
No, it was a female singer.
Oh, okay.
There you go. Ruffalo's right on it.
Mama Cass. Oh, okay.
But I love him. I'm
Hey,
reading
Mama-
on the internet.
Mama,
And he
can I fix
decided to sell the apartment after the second death.
Right?
He was like, you know what? I don't mind getting haunted by Keith Moon because those are probably
No,
funny
Cass was
hauntings.
first. She was first.
Oh, okay. Well, then maybe he was like, yeah, I don't mind getting haunted by Mama Cass. You'll wake up and there's a sandwich ready to get eaten.
I was gonna say,
Keith Moon banging on shit all night. No, you don't want to.
Harry was like, "Hey, Mama, can I fix you a sandwich? You look like you need a sandwich."
That was the old joke when if she gave. Well, what year did she die? 75 was it?
No, earlier than that, wasn't it? She
Wasn't it like 72?
No, what was her name? What, Naomi Cohen?
That was
Is that her name?
I would have said Cassandra Elliott.
No, Naomi Cohen.
I have no idea.
No, I'm looking it up. Let me see. Cass Elliott.
Yeah, go ahead. What was her name?
Just
She died in
says Cass
1974. I was right.
Yeah, go to her birth name. Go to Wikipedia.
name.
I don't know what you're on, but her name was not Cass Elliott.
Let's see.
Okay. Ellen Naomi Cohen.
That's it.
Oh,
Ellen Naomi
that's the
Cohen.
one was The Curse of Harry Nilsson.
Told ya.
I don't know.
I'm not a big Keith Moon fan. He's not a favorite of mine. Technically, as a drummer, I don't think he's very good.
Well, wait,
I mean,
let's
the
not
fact
get
is-
back into the Who. Don't we hit,
Is the Who a soft spot for you?
No, but that whole, we'll get back on that topic from last week, and then we'll be talking about the limited P bass again.
We'll bring Ryan back.
Yeah.
It's the rehash. It's the rehash show. No, I'm not a fan of Keith Moon. I don't think he
Back
was a
to
good
Bob
drummer.
Dylan.
Yeah, he should have played in Dylan's band. I'm not a fan. He doesn't play with a hi hat. To me, I don't
when
really.
Dylan went
not a
electric
groove
at
player.
the
I like
Jazz
groove.
Festival.
You give me Bernard. Here's the thing: people are like, Keith Moon's one of the best drummers in the world. Oh, really? Because next to Bernard Purdy, he sounds like a beginner. Purdy's a
So,
monster.
keep
And
moving,
those are
but
names
yeah.
people don't know. Bernard Purdy. Today we were hanging with a guy. His wife used to babysit this kid that grew up to play bass, plays in a band with Keith Carlock and Wayne Krantz. I'm like, Carlock's a phenomenal drummer. Keith Moon, not so much. Not a fan.
Back to
I'm not the end
Bob.
all be all on the conversation, but I can tell you he was great at what he did, but
Sorry.
you know,
I'm a
so
fan.
was Mussolini.
Yeah.
Back to Bob Dylan for a second. He wasn't even the kind of hobo beatnik that he was made out to be either. Because he was a city kid with a fixation with Woody Guthrie.
Right.
You know, so he's
Yeah.
not this kind of
Right.
this singer, deep down singer songwriter that way.
There's some great interviews if you're ever into Mike Bloomfield, who was a great guitar player,
Mhm.
who talked about his disdain for Bob Dylan. Because he used to go in with charts to Dylan's songs and be like, we should work out how the band's going to come in. And Dylan's like, no, man, we should just go in and do it and just jam. And it used to drive him nuts. He's like, that's it. I'm getting on a heroin kick. I'm going to kill myself. It was planned out. It's all in his diary.
You got him, you've got Al Cooper, and you've got Robbie.
Old and
Robertson.
Busted says, what's something a guitarist might do that wows an audience but doesn't impress me? I would say see Prince's career. For me. I think as far as being a player, he comes out, he looks good, he wears the high heel boots, which makes him 5'1".
Well, lighting a guitar on fire, smashing a guitar.
It doesn't do anything for me.
Doesn't
I
impress.
think Prince
It-
was an
you want-
excellent, underrated bass player, and I enjoy his songs. As a guitar player,
He's a great
To me,
showman.
he's
Great
a showman.
entertainer.
But to me, that's where
But
it ends.
When people start telling me he's one of the greatest guitar players, and I'm listening, and I'm sorry, hate me if you want. It's just terrible, terrible pentatonic bullshit.
Yeah.
Terrible
Agreed.
fucking pentatonic bullshit.
And as far as what Hannah Baum's saying and everyone about Keith Moon
He's
and
better
Bonham,
than Roy. I'll give him that. He's better than Roy. But
Bonham's my all-time favorite rock drummer. I think as far as rock drummers go,
Yeah.
he's the shit. The shit. I like him way better than Neil Peart. For me, he has grooves still where I just think Neil is the best drummer for Rush, and I love what he does in Rush. But I don't listen to it going, this guy's the greatest. I just
like
don't.
Ian
It's not
Pace.
for me.
too.
Neil-
But not,
Neil
not
Pace
better
had a
than
great
Bonham.
feel.
Not,
Neil-
not better than Bonham.
Neil Peart's too tight. That's, I mean, like,
I don't know if he's
You
too
gotta
tight. I
bring
just
some-
think that
I
it's
told you,
can't
bring
swing.
some lube.
doesn't swing. Doesn't have a groove. To me, it's all about groove. Look at my favorite drummer of all time is probably Jeff Porcaro, and he's all groove. He can't drum solo, doesn't do fancy things, but boy, does he lock a groove and play.
Well,
a
he
song
could probably
like-
drum solo. He just didn't want to.
No, he says he can't.
Yeah,
Said something he
just
couldn't
because
do.
he says he. Yeah, well,
Well, I'm
he's
saying in
being
his master
self-effacing.
classes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yes, he can, but not to the level when he hears, guys do it. Yeah. I mean, look, like I said, I think Neil Peart's a great technical drummer, and I think he was great for the band Rush. To me, he's part of that band. This is something that Krellbar and I were talking about today. Let's say we're going to discuss bass players for a moment, and people are going to throw out Chris Squire, John Paul Jones, Geddy Lee. And let's just stop there for a moment. Let's just take those three. All those guys that you're listening to, or all the bass players you want to come up and name that play in these bands, work on those songs over and over. And they live with those songs that by the time when you go hear it on the record, they've worked out the parts. Then you go see them live. They've played that song they've worked with and lived with. Now, you go listen to a song like Kid Charlemagne with that monster bass line, or go listen to a song by Marvin Gaye called Ain't Nothing Like the Real Thing, and listen to that bass line. On that song by Marvin Gaye, Jameson is reading a chord chart and coming up with
pulling
that
it out of
bass
his
line
ass.
on the
Yeah.
fucking spot, never to play it again unless he's playing it live. And people spend a lifetime learning his bass lines that he's making up on the fly. These guys are living with songs and getting that opportunity to live with it for a long time. And then you've got guys like Chuck Rainey on the Steely Dan Kid Charlemagne reading the chart for the first time and going, is this good? Or guys like Marcus Miller, or guys like Abraham Laboriel, or any of those session guys. So it's hard
Anthony
to sit there
Jackson,
and compare
Gene
when we say
Simmons.
who's your favorite or who's a great, because
Anthony
these guys,
Jackson.
even though they're great players, are living with these songs. You know, Neil Peart, when he's sitting there working on those songs, is living with that song for a while before they record it. He works out all the parts. You go listen to Nardis by what the hell's the Maslow, Eugene Maslow. That's Vinnie Colaiuta reading a chart, playing it in one take. Look up the song Nardis and listen to Vinnie playing a song that he's never seen before and will never play again for a guy in a session. That's what I mean. That's just insane. So how do you compare? I don't know if you can compare. So therefore, talking about like, you know, these things are who we like as favorites, that's cool because you're really liking their music and what they've done to music. But I mean, I don't know if you can compare them to guys who can just walk in and like Bernard Purdy and play a drum line like he's played it his whole life and it's his first time fucking working out the song. You know what I mean? That's a different skill altogether. Who knows what I'm trying to say? Throwing drinks in the crowd makes me think they're thirsty. Killer Groove guy. Tony Thompson. Tony Thompson, man. What's his name? Got so mad at Tony Thompson. The drummer for Genesis. What's Phil Collins for that Led Zeppelin reunion thing. Because I guess Tony Thompson didn't work out the songs. And it infuriates. That's why you'll never see that. Then they never show that Live Aid show with Zeppelin.
Yeah, I remember it sucking.
It had to do with Tony Thompson. And I love Tony because I love Chic. I loved the Diana Ross album, Diana. I loved the what's the girl band? The Sledge that he played with. God, he was great.
Well, I don't know if you remember.
Sandman, I agree. There's many of them. And there's the Philly guys, too. There's been movies about the Motown guys. There's movies about Muscle Shoals and the Swampers. There's the Wrecking Crew movie. And there's a movie about Tom Dowd, which talks about the Stax guys, Memphis and Muscle Shoals and all those guys that he worked with. But there hasn't been anything about really the Philly scene with the MFSB band, the motherfucking Sons of Bitches / Mother, Father, Sister, Brother band. Those guys are monsters. Lee Sklar, Jamie Fisher is exactly the same. Oh, Ron Blair, that was the bass player I couldn't think of the other day. Lee Sklar absolutely is one of those guys that's on a million records. Jackson Brown, James Taylor, Joni Mitchell, Lyle Lovett, who's a monster. He plays on
Phil Collins.
What's that song Laughter in the Rain from Neil Sedaka? He's a monster. And again, he just goes in and reads a chart and works it out on the spot. Very difficult to do. You know, I would too, Sandman, for sure. Collins pissed him off because Collins stopped playing and wasn't going to change the way the song went because they told Collins to do it the way the record was. And then they went in and worked it out with Tony Thompson, who changed the groove and was playing it. And then Collins gets there and he's like, what the hell? And Collins got pissed, stopped playing, or was like trying to figure out what was going on. And Page was going nuts. Yeah, MFSB is awesome. I mean, I love all those, the Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes, the Stylistics, the what was that band? Step Right Up, Hurry, Blue Magic, the Spinners. Yeah, the Spinners. So many great bands.
Yep.
Rockpile. What the hell was talking about Rockpile? Yeah. Anyways, to me, I just think that's like, it's hard to compare like all these great musicians. And then you have these guys who are unsung, Roger Hawkins on Muscle Shoals. That drummer's played on a million things, and that guy had a fucking groove. Roger Hawkins was awesome. Awesome drummer. And it's a drummer that no one knows his name, and he's played on a million records.
How would you rate Donald Duck Dunn from Booker T?
I thought, he was good. Those were the Stax guys.
Mm-hmm.
Duck Dunn, and what was the guitar player? Steve Cropper.
Steve Cropper, yeah.
Yeah, great guys. Yeah. I think they played, weren't those guys on Son of a Preacher Man?
Yeah.
With, Dusty Springfield?
That's right, yeah.
She was great.
She was really good.
What a voice. Yeah. For me, Phil Collins' career kind of ended for me when he did that Disney. What was that Disney movie he did? I was like, is it Jungle Book?
I don't remember.
No,
Oh.
But
There's
I know
a
what you're
song
talking
from
about.
it. Oh, there's a song from it that every time I think about it, I'm like, this is the same guy that played drums on fucking Fly on the Windshield. It's like, could you imagine? You know what? I think fucking Bonham may have, Tarzan. That's what it was. Yeah, Jungle Book. I think, wasn't it Jungle Book or was it Tarzan? It's terrible, Mike Shaner. What was, could you imagine if John Bonham lived? Forget about John Bonham dying, but he quit Zeppelin in like 84, like alternate universe, and he started writing these very sappy songs for Disney. That's what it feels like for me with Phil Collins. This guy was a monster drummer, and and those songs. There was another song in the 80s that I absolutely hated. He sang a song with Jennifer Warnes. What was that song? Anybody?
Who? Phil Collins?
Yeah, didn't he do a song with Jennifer Warnes? Jennifer warned him. She said, "Don't do it."
Yeah, Phil Collins did 2 Disney albums.
Oh, was it Separate Lives? Is it Separate Lives? Who sang Separate Lives with him? I wanted to take a bat to his head when I heard that song. I was like, is this what we've really become, Phil? Separate Lives, Cheat says. Yeah.
Okay. So he did Separate Lives. He did duet with Marilyn Martin. Was the
Marilyn Martin? I thought it was Jennifer Warnes.
Nope. Separate Lives, 1985 song recorded by Phil Collins and Marilyn Martin.
He did go super poppy in the mid-80s. Really did.
My God. It was sickening.
And I have no idea who Marilyn Martin is.
Neither does Phil Collins. He thought it was Jennifer Warnes. It's the only reason why she got the gig.
got the same. I mean, she was busy with Joe Cocker, so.
Love lift us up. Well, hey, I got this great idea for a song for this film, An Officer and a Gentleman. Can we get a guy that sounds like he's having a stroke when he sings?
Yeah, and
we got Joe Cocker coming right up. He'll be up in 5.
And a little trivia for Joe: the lead part in Prince of Darkness. That woman played Lynette in Officer and Gentleman. Deborah Winger's friend, the blonde friend.
I've never seen Officer and a Gentleman.
It's not a bad movie. I like David Keith.
Now, Mike, if no one, back in those years, if no one was going after someone else with a butcher knife or an axe, or was some kind of a creature from hell guiding change at someone else's throat, I didn't watch it.
Or if who played Pamela Voorhees?
Yep, that was
Betsy Palmer. If Betsy Palmer wasn't in the film, he wants nothing to do with it.
If Betsy Palmer wasn't someone's mother, I wouldn't watch it.
Mary Palmer.
Who was the mother in the one with Freddy Krueger, Nightmare on Elm Street? Who was the mother in that?
Oh, that was. I always thought she looked like Virginia Madsen, but it wasn't Virginia Madsen. It was.
She looked like Virginia Madsen if Virginia Madsen had to stay up for 3 nights in a row.
Gain 10 years on her life and smoke cigarettes.
First of all, I'm getting no love tonight, folks. Let me say that one again. She looked like Virginia Madsen if Virginia Madsen had to stay up for 3 nights in a row. You know what, Krell? You better start finding me a laugh track because some of these are gems.
Well, I've got laugh tracks when you say
what was her name? What was her name? I've never seen her
look it
before.
up.
It wasn't Lily Lasanka, was it?
No, it was John Saxon.
He played the father.
Yep.
Oh, I love Saxon.
What was it?
Saxon
Ronnie
might be in the most. He might be in the most films on Mystery Science Theater than any actor.
He's amazing.
Ronnie.
It's unbelievable.
I put
Ronnie
on.
Blakely. Ronnie Blakely.
That's what I just said. Yeah,
Yeah,
Ronnie
okay.
said like I put on Shutter the other day, and quickly, within a minute, was sucked into Tenebrae, the old with 1974 Italian horror. And who's in it? John Saxon.
Saxon's great.
I'm laughing when I say, yeah, Tenebrae.
Anytime we used to hire some old VHS videos, it was always Saxon that was in it.
Yeah.
You remember Planet Earth, that movie? The one where they go through that time tunnel and they end up in a world ruled by women and men were called dinks?
No. Was Richard Hatch in it?
Movie.
I think the movie with Richard Hatch and John Saxon.
Richard Snatch was, but
And what's the girl's name that was in that movie with Tim Kimber? The girl in the
what movie?
Infatuation video for Rod Stewart.
Lenz, Kay Lenz.
Kay Lenz. Kay Lenz, Richard Hatch, and John Saxon, I believe, are in a film together. I don't know if Saxon's in it now that I think about it. He could be, though.
Anyone remember a film called The Wild Women of Wonga?
I'm familiar.
Old
On
60s.
Pornhub. What was it called?
Oh,
The
Prisoners
Wild
of
Women
the
of Wonga.
Prisoners of the Lost Universe, Dave.
Bingo.
1983.
Who's in it?
Richard Hatch, Kay Lenz, John Saxon, and
Oh
Peter
my
O'Farrell.
God.
Bingo. Ah, can you believe I pulled that out? Those three were in a film together. You know why Richard Hatch got that job? Because Grant Goodeve was still under contract on 8 Is Enough. Oh, wait, he's the poor man, Richard Hatch.
Yep.
I get in
remember him.
silence on Grant Goodeve. Folks, it's just not going well. Grant Goodeve's given you a lot of entertainment over the years. Can you please applaud when you hear his name?
Planet Earth had John Saxon, Sue Dahlman, Diana Muldaur, Janet Margolin, Ted Cassidy.
Ted Cassidy.
Not
Oh,
Jack
you know
Cassidy.
what? You messed up one time, Krell.
Yep.
We were talking about a show, and you said it was Richard Keel, but it was Ted Cassidy.
Oh, you talk about Bigfoot?
Yes.
I think they both did, didn't they?
No, it's
No,
it's
the first
it's,
was
it's
Andre the Giant.
Andre the Giant, and then Ted
And then-
Cassidy.
Yeah. He's looking it up. He don't like to be wrong.
Okay. Ted Cassidy, yep. And who played Bigfoot?
You just look at him in costume and you could still see the face.
Yeah. Yeah, you're correct, sir.
I wasn't correct. What happened was when I got off, I keep my ringer off, and then I saw that my brother sent me a message, and he says it was Ted Cassidy, not Richard Keel. My brother texted me
I
because the
stand
asshole
corrected.
can't fucking type in the chat. He's too lazy. He's on the sofa. He's watching it on his TV.
Well, I watch on the Roku sometimes. There's no way to type.
Right, that's it. You got to type to your phone. So then he, instead of typing on the app to the phone, he just goes to WhatsApp. I'm not Lisa. That's funny, Jamie Fisher about Bonham.
Yeah, that was good. I don't doubt that either.
Oh yeah, look at. I mean, Bonham's a monster. A monster. What else? Hugh, what's going on with you guitar wise? Any new guitars?
Just that.
Wait, weren't you supposed to show us a guitar the next time you came on?
He won't walk to the wall and get it.
That's what I thought.
Oh, the story behind
Have
that,
you
by the way.
started training yet?
Yeah, doing stuff. I'll send you a pic to show you how I'm actually feeling.
I should have. I'm sorry, I dropped the ball. I should have had a picture of fucking somebody hitchhiking and showing here's you on his 100-mile walk
Showing some leg.
with his thumb out the whole way.
Yeah, and showing some leg to get a ride.
Well,
You
that's
want
the
some
guitar.
of his
The
dirty
guitar on the wall
bird
the
ass?
last time. There was tiles and workman's tools everywhere behind me. I couldn't actually. I had a small corridor between here and the door, so I couldn't go behind to get anything.
Well,
But
Anyway.
and now,
tell the Rockman you're sleeping with
can
not to
now.
leave his shit all over.
okay,
the
so
floor.
he can do it now. All right, we're gonna get
I
it.
showed that last week. You remember?
Yeah.
No, she didn't request it. I kept singing it to her because her name was Lisa. So I kept singing it to her, and she's like, "What are you singing?" I'm like, "You don't know that song?" She looked at me like I had 5 heads, and I said, "No, it's my second head." And then I started singing the Teardrop Explode song. All right, go ahead, Hugh. Grab that guitar. Grab the guitargan.
That was the one you seen last week. The
No,
telly.
what was the one that was on the wall that
There
he
was a
wanted to see?
Gresh. He had like a Gresh a couple of weeks ago, I think.
It was a George Benson.
That's upstairs. I've been
right.
selling loads of guitars, so I've got a lot out, and that's one of the ones that's been put back in storage.
Ah. You have a
He's
room
got-
that's
he's got-
just that's
no,
isolated
he's
for
like
guitars.
Metallica. He's got trailers full of guitars.
You just take my word for it. It's a nice guitar.
Ah, that's it.
When you start talking about guitar storage, you've got a problem.
Exactly.
Hugh's going into guitar sales, everybody. Just want to let you know when you go into his store and they're like, "Can I see that guitar?" He's going to go, "Just take my word for it. It's a good guitar."
Well, you know what? I think
I
he's the
don't
one
need to
that's
see it.
been,
Just
he's the
Was
one
that
that's been
a
buying up
Irish
all my
accent?
guitars. I think he's the one buying up all my guitars.
Aye.
Hugh, how many guitars do you have at the moment?
I just sold 2, so down to 39.
Whew. You
How
had
many?
me beat at my highest.
39.
39?
Mhm.
49, I thought he said.
No, 39.
Okay, you had me beat by 1. My highest was 38. Now I'm down
Eh.
22.
I plan on getting down to like 15.
Yeah, it's a good number.
Because I used to trade up with guitars and sell and buy a lot, I've ended up with a few that I couldn't be bothered selling because wouldn't make a big enough profit, and they ended up just sitting in corners. That's all I've got. I couldn't. Some of them you can't even give them away.
I'm gonna
Oh,
run
yeah.
and check Michael really quick.
Go
I'll be
ahead.
back.
It's terrible these days, though. I mean, I was saying to some friends, any of you who have kids, do you want a free guitar? And they go, no. You know, offering them a free guitar, no.
Holy
I
shit.
love it.
I would have bitten their hand off when I was a kid.
Oh, yeah. It's like it was everything just to. I mean, like the story was, my first electric, I was supposed to get a class ring and I didn't like jewelry. So I told my mother, give me the money for that. I put that together with my penny jar and I bought the Squire Bullet,
Exactly.
84 Squire Bullet from Japan.
Mm. Mine was an old, it was a second-hand Tysko from the 60s.
Oh, Tyson, those are awful guitars. Too. It's like
Proper awful.
Yeah.
And I remember being young, I couldn't set them up properly.
Oh, I don't think it was any way you could set up a Tysko properly.
Probably right, yeah.
Johnny Kramer's quoting a little Tommy Boy in the chat. Now, let me ask you, do you smoke cigars, Hugh?
I used to many years ago. I haven't done for a long time.
Yeah.
But
What's the
I
big
still
cigar out there? Ash? No,
can't remember
That-
to be honest.
Davidoff or something?
That's one.
Yeah, for sure.
I still smoke tobacco. I'm trying to cut down, try to stop actually. But
Do you
I
smoke
still
with a pipe?
Not a pipe, just hand rolled stuff.
Oh, you roll your own cigarettes?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you know what though? I could totally see with a pipe.
Oh yeah.
There's a guy that comes to the cigar lounge, and he's got one of those pipes that hangs down here like he's holding a bull's balls.
A Sherlock Holmes.
But it's way
longer.
longer. It's longer.
Right.
You know, it's still shorter than a Ricola.
Yeah, but when you talk to him, it always seems like he's asking you a question. The way he's holding it, he's like, and you're like, yeah. He's like, what?
Lieutenant Columbo.
We're like, oh yeah, I thought you were going to ask me a question. He's like, no. I'm like, what? I'll tell you, the midweek nights might be better than the Sundays.
Yeah, well, it's because that circle we just got into music for hours, and that surprised the hell out of me that we got into that deep of a chat about music.
Yeah, no, but it was a big crew, and
oh yeah,
right. If Hugh says good guitar, it's it. My son's interested in that guitar. May he try it? You tell your son to trust me. It's a good guitar. All right, it's good enough for us.
Sounded like John Lennon.
Oh yeah. Just rattle your jewelry. Wow, 25. I don't even know. I don't count, but so I don't know. I'd like to have less than I have. I'd like to get rid of this one here.
I tell you, it's liberating because it's, you know, you don't think there's guitars. You look at, oh, I'd never sell that, and then you do, and it's like, oh well, I'm kind of glad.
I'd sell them all. I could give a shit.
Yeah.
I'm at the point I don't care.
Well, the ones that I put some blood, sweat, and tears into, I mean, like the LTD, that's going to be a tough one. But that Squire you saw last week, Daphne Blue, I will never sell that because I'd never get the money back on it. But I mean, like, I spent so much time.
Yeah, you never sell it, but not by choice. It's just the fact that there's no money.
Well,
for you
if someone gave me $500-$600 for it, the Blue Daphne, I'd do it. Yeah, but no one's going to give me that.
I mean, I've got a lot of old guitars that are old resonators and mandolins and that kind of stuff as well. Most of that I'll never sell, but I don't like having duplicates of anything. You know what I mean? I like that one Telly, one good Strat, one Les Paul, one Gretsch.
You know, most of the time, I don't like a lot of the stuff. Like when I do my theory class on Tuesday nights, most of that stuff I think that people should work on in their head, not on the instrument. You know what I mean? Like when I was getting into music theory, or even today. So there's a guy on YouTube. He's a jazz pianist. His name's Noah Kelman, and he puts out great videos. He's a fantastic young piano player, but he plays jazz. And I always like to hear just some of his concepts. Some of them are interesting to me. Some of them I'm like, oh, I already knew that. And then, so today his thing was playing over a dominant 7 chord, playing the tritone Mixolydian thing. And these jazz guys love throwing modes, which basically means he's playing a half step below so if it's an E7, he's playing an E flat major scale, but he's just starting it on the B flat. So, you know, it's one of those things that I've already known, and I've done pentatonic versions of it, but I just thought it was interesting how he looked at it as being the tritone scale. And I see it, Joe. And so I just thought that was interesting, but today, I would say that was from like 11 this morning to just about right when I met Krellbar at 1 for lunch. It was in my head. I was working it all in my head. I've had 3 in my life, or 4, Hannah Baum. I traded my last one for the Music Man bass that I have. It was a studio, and before that I used to have 258s. If you follow my YouTube, if you follow my Facebook, you'd see my pictures of all my guitars, past and future.
You know the other thing
anyways,
as well, sorry Dave,
go ahead.
When it sounds sometimes like you've got a lot more guitars than you actually have. when, say, I've got 5 acoustics, but they're all tuned differently.
Right.
I
Sure.
may have 3 electric guitars that are set up for slide in different tunings as well. Because I'm not going to change my tuning every time I want to do a slide. You know what I mean?
Right. No, absolutely. And you don't want to set it up for slide either, unless you're going to use it exclusively for that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yep.
But anyways, my point was about my show is that I think people should try to learn some of the theory stuff outside of playing. Like I use it. If you can listen to YouTube, I don't know what kind of technology everyone's working with. A lot of times in my car, I'll throw on a YouTube, like I'll put on a video because I want to listen to something, and I just have it go through the audio, my Bluetooth in my car, so I can listen to YouTube while I drive. And so it's a cool thing because you can work out some cool things in your head. I think a lot of music theory and stuff you can kind of work in your head. Imagine it's like speaking another language. And instead of learning a few words before you just start getting out there, you're just throwing yourself out there. So you're not doing yourself any favors. It's better to, in your private time, when you're not communicating, to look up the words. And then you at least have somewhat of a vocabulary. So that's kind of the same thing with the music stuff that I'm trying to get across to people, is to understand. And also, Krellbar and I were talking about this today, too. When you think of music and you think of like a key, like the way this kid Noah Kelman says it, he was like, if I'm playing over, well, actually, he talked about the key of F. So he's a piano player. So he said, if I play an F7 chord, I'm playing a B7 Mixolydian. And so it's interesting to me that he's thinking about that as from the B, when I would just think, all right, what is, I don't want to know, like, it's now B Mixolydian. This is where my problem with modes is, you've got to work it out. And so instantly I'm like, okay, he's playing 4 sharps. But I would just rather hear someone say we're playing an E, because then I know I am in 4 sharps. Yeah, you want to center on B, but you're not even centering on B.
Yeah, because B's the 5th degree of.
But he's not even centering on B, so it doesn't even matter anyway. So the whole point is it was 4 sharps. And so that's how I'd rather communicate, because I see the scale not in a line. Like if you think about a scale, you think of it as a line of notes, and I just think of it as like, throw it out there. Here's 7 notes, boom. It doesn't matter what order it's in. I'm just counting sharps and flats. If there's 3 sharps, I know I'm in the key of A. If I see 1 flat, I know I'm in the key of F. You know, that type of thing. But I don't really sit there and care what order they're in. Wow. Well, thank you, Speed. I'm glad that the song stuff works out. I have a Steely Dan song coming out tomorrow for everybody. So
Nice.
Yeah, that could be interesting, Sandman. I've done a few on my lessons on the on how to play, like the intro that I do. What's Jane Gem?
Jane Gem.
I don't know what the hell she's typing. But yeah, anyways, that's just something for you to think about, though. Like, you don't have to be playing the guitar, or it is modern jazz. Yes, it is. Did I mention that before? Modern jazz? How did you know? No, we don't need a bongo player.
Yeah, get the Fonz. The Fonz plays bongo.
I was watching some YouTube video where the guy made a video. He makes them about like TV shows, and one of his things was about Spike.
Oh,
How nobody likes Spike, his cousin.
yeah, it's like, you know, what's worse, jumping the shark or bringing Spike into the fold? Well, Spike was a cousin Oliver moment, basically. That has its own name.
Jane,
no
you're
one liked him 'cause
playing
he
a
was a little shit.
game. What is it? What happened?
I said no one liked Spike because he was a little shit.
Yeah. Yeah, he was terrible. And he had, instead of on the motorcycle, he had the little bicycle.
Yep.
It's quite embarrassing.
Yeah. I mean, Happy Days may have been good for a couple seasons stuff, and then they started reaching, jumping the shark.
Yeah. I think next week is Dr. Wu. Let me think for a second. Yeah, it is. It's Dr. Wu for sure.
Brian Jano says Dr. Jew.
Are you with me, Dr. Jew?
Not that
YouTube's
the
going to
tone-
start banning me for anti-Semitism. They're
Yeah.
going to be like, we got to ban this guy Levine. It's like, what?
Yeah.
David, I know your thoughts.
Actually,
on,
I told you today, the rabbi, my father's rabbi, guy, I haven't spoke to the guy since my father passed 2 years ago. Guy texted me today. Can you come to a service with us next week? I'm like, no, I have a gig. How about in 2 more weeks after that? I'm like, listen, I got to be honest. I'm not interested.
Why?
Why what?
Why does he?
He's
want
trying
you
to.
tell us?
This is the truth, though. He was trying to bribe me with a corned beef sandwich from New York. No lie. In fact, let me see exactly the verbiage he said. I am certain you will enjoy the corned beef sandwiches from New York. How about Thursday, March 17th? I'm certain you would enjoy the corned beef sandwiches from New York. Oh, you know who else is certain I would? This guy. You guys are all sitting there going, how does the rabbi know he likes corned beef sandwiches? We're Jews.
Who doesn't like a good corned beef sandwich?
It's the law.
Shit.
The key is finding a good corned beef sandwich.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
Outside of New York, that is kind of
Well, I tell you what I do on occasionally on I don't always have corned beef, but I mean, like when I make my corned beef, I usually put a point cut in with the boiled dinner, but I'll make the lean cut. I'll make that in the oven till it's nice and tender, and I'll slice that and make sandwiches.
Oh, that sounds about as interesting as fucking the
It
shark.
comes out good.
Jumping the shark. Oh, yeah. Does it?
Oh yeah.
I brought up corned beef sandwiches. No one cares how you prepare it in your
Well, because
makeshift
the way
kitchen.
The way I prepare it is awesome. That's why.
No one can verify that. You are not of the Jewish people. Therefore, your opinion of corned beef has been negated.
Hey, look,
You are-
I'm German.
you are
I'm German.
First of all, hold on a second.
I,
Hold
wait,
on.
wait,
From
wait,
German
wait,
descent.
Wait, I'm German. I'm cooking that damn thing in the oven, and
Exactly.
I can understand why a Jew wouldn't like that.
You're
Oh
damn
my
right
God.
about that.
Are you going to tell me that Bob Dylan makes a better corned beef sandwich than Eric Clapton? Are you out of your fucking mind?
Oh, yeah. Clapton. Oh, Clapton doesn't know anything. You know, Clapton, you go to for fish and chips.
Yeah.
He's a fish
Not
and
even
chips.
a good cut
you
of
know,
fish.
look, those Irishmen have been stealing the corned beef for years,
Look.
claiming it as their own on St. Patrick's Day,
Let me tell
trying to
you
beat
something.
trying to beat out the Jewish holidays with this made up St. Patrick's Day in March, just so they could beat out all the Jewish holidays and get to the corned beef first.
The Irish guys over here that I know think corned beef comes out of a can.
Yeah, they have no idea what corned beef is.
If you leave the tri-state area, your chances of finding a knish are less than your chances of capturing a fucking leprechaun.
Well, actually, let me say this. In New York, I have a friend and she lives in New Jersey, and she tells me she came up to visit recently. And after we just had a coffee and chatted, and she's like, I got to run. I got to go to Zadie's, which is this Jewish deli. I'm like, you got to go to Zadie's? You're leaving Jersey to come up here to go to Zadie's? It's this little, deli. And she's like, you can't get beef knishes anywhere near New York or Jersey. I thought it was blasphemy. And then I went and looked it up, and none of the places down there had beef knishes.
I typed something in the chat.
Was it
Anyone knows-
Boone? It was Peter Reigart. Is it Reigart who played Boone?
Yeah, Peter Reigart.
Yeah, Peter Reigart would be my answer, Brian. Corned beef's the best.
Yeah, I
Cat's
wrote in the
Deli in
chat.
New York has
Anyone
one.
knows-
Elroy Shredding for good corned beef. I urge you, with everything I have, for you to take a ride to the Valley and go to Brent's. It's the best corned beef sandwich I've had in my life. Brent's Deli, right up there in Northridge. Elroy, you're not that far. You go on a Sunday morning. It's a 25-minute ride. You're going to see a lot of elderly Jews standing out in line. Just cut right in front and tell them you don't care if you don't sit in a booth. They'll seat you right away. Those elderlies they only want a booth. Just take the table. It's true. Oh, they have the best half sour pickles I've ever had. Oh, the place is genius.
Half sour is the best pickles on the face of the planet.
I haven't had a half sour in a long time.
Yeah.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
It is. They are.
It
they
is.
are divine.
It is
my
what it's
buddy bought
called.
2 pounds of corned beef from them and had it shipped from California. Comes over here, and oh no, it was unbelievable. It took a day. It next date it was unbelievable. It's still unbelievable. It's
I'm going
the
to get
best.
a Knish, a half sour corned beef sandwich, and I'm going to wash it down with some celery soda.
You'd love Brent's.
Celery
Can you
soda.
eat corned beef sandwiches? Oh, you can eat corned beef all day, right? You don't eat the bread though on
sure.
your diet.
Listen, if you don't have it every day, you're all right.
Yeah.
So, but
Well,
for
that's
that,
the whole
to
trick
make
about
that kind of-
eating. Eventually, you're going to have to get to the point where you're like, you figure it out what you can eat.
Yeah.
Like
Well, it's
today,
gonna-
I had pancakes, and then Krellbob brought these pizza sticks. What are they called?
Pizza strips. Tomato
it's
pie.
Tomato pie.
Rhode Island.
It has
They
no
call it
cheese.
party pizza. They call it party pizza, but it's like. And the sauce is outstanding, and the crust is outstanding. And Dave caught he created sacrilege. He microwaved his. He wanted a little heat. You're supposed to eat it cold, but it's like
Let me tell you, they do things half right in Rhode Island. The thing should be eaten warm. It was delicious. First of all, Krell, you say you're supposed to eat it cold. I think you're supposed to eat it room temperature, right?
room temperature. That's what I mean by cold. But
Right. But you bring it in from your car that's been sitting in 20 degrees. The thing was an icicle pie when you brought it in.
well,
So I'm
when
like, can we
it
just
sat
put
on
this-
the table for
I
a while?
said to her, put it in the microwave for 30 seconds. I just want to bring it to room temperature.
Yeah, you get a pass for the first slice, but the second slice you had was considerably. You could have done that right.
I wanted to try it. I was right. It was better.
Yeah,
Montreal smoked meat is Montreal's a seasoning. You can put Montreal seasoning on steaks.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't compare it to pastrami.
Yeah, I
like
said
pastrami
earlier
a lot
too.
better.
Getting back to the corned beef thing, anyone knows the authentic boiled dinner is pork shoulder, smoked pork shoulder for Irish. It's like corned beef is Jewish, like Dave says. I mean,
Right,
it was
Jamie.
it was kind of they kind of what's the word I'm looking for? They I won't say stole it from the Jews, but it's they what's the word?
Lifted. Borrowed it?
Lifted it works. but
Indefinitely?
Borrowed it. There's another word, but
adopted it.
Oh no, I
adopted.
know the word.
Yeah, that's good. But
What do you mean, culturally appropriated?
That's what
Yeah,
he's going to
that
say.
could
Which
be.
I believe is all horseshit, anyways.
It's bullshit.
Yeah, you guys
Yeah,
want to
they
use
tell
corn-
someone they can't wear their hair a certain
Oh, yeah,
fucking
you
way.
can't.
Get
Well,
out of
fuck,
here.
right.
Go
I
fuck
mean-
yourself.
the thing is that the authentic thing is smoked pork shoulder.
Yeah, it's like when they say like chicken fingers. These are Chinese chicken fingers. The only thing Chinese about them are my eyes when they take a bite because they're so hot. I go, ah. Too soon? Oh, folks, come on. We've
I
given you
missed
lots
it. I
of
missed it.
entertainment tonight. No, it's a funny bit.
Nah, that was horrifying.
No, actually, that you do dip the chicken in sesame oil before you put it in
I'm
the.
gonna-
Mhm.
What's up, Joe?
I'm gonna send you something on Facebook.
Okay, let me open it.
I
And the
want you to see how
secret
fucking
ingredient
ridiculous
is
we've got.
mirin, right? Dave, mirin.
Mirin wine, sesame
I use
oil.
that in my-
And let me tell you, you can make anything you want at your house. If you're preparing anything where you're trying to fake Chinese, mirin wine,
Yep.
sesame oil, white
Yep.
pepper.
Yeah. I've got white pepper in a grinder in my kitchen. I use my Asian seasoning.
A wee tip from me: Japanese soy sauce is the best.
Yep. I like kikkoman. Kikkoman.
Where was this?
I'm
On
watching
Disney?
I'm watching on Disney. I'm watching Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends
Oh, with Iceman and Firestar.
and Firestar. Yes. And this put the can you
That-
put the
that's
message
my-
up?
Oh,
That's
these
my
people
jam.
are cunts.
That's my jam from the 80s.
And you know what the episode was about? The bad guy was Japanese. That's all.
He's Japanese. We gotta give him the.
I mean, it's the 80s. They were still bastards.
Oh my God, he's
Unbelievable.
Japanese and he's in Manhattan. We gotta get him the fuck out of here.
But you know, they had another thing. I grew up watching Our Gang, Little Rascals. I mean, one of my happiest moments was like I got to meet in college, Spanky McFarlane, George Spanky McFarlane. And you know, when they re-released all the Our Gang shows, they had to have a 4-minute explanation by Whoopi Goldberg about how times were different. But was that or no? That might have been the Looney Tunes cartoons, because some of the cartoons.
Whoopi Goldberg has to
outta
go out
here.
and say to everyone, listen, back then it was a different time. By the way, I'm a comedian who's black, whose name's Carolyn, whatever her last name was. But I took the name Whoopi Goldberg so the Jews would accept me.
Yep.
Please.
You know,
Frightening.
there was a time.
What was
where
her
we all
name?
think-
Carolyn what?
I don't know.
I have
Not
no idea.
Jones, because Carolyn Jones was the Addams
That was
family.
yeah.
Carolyn Jones was a mother from Partridge Family, right?
No,
that's
that was
Shirley Jones.
Shirley Jones.
Married
What am I
to
talking about?
Jack Cassidy.
Yeah.
Carolyn Dillon.
Young Shirley Jones was gorgeous.
Mr. Franklin. Mr. Franklin. That's from
Yeah.
Murder by the Book on Columbo
It's
when
Lysanka.
Lily Lysanka is calling Ken Franklin. Mr. Franklin.
Karen Elaine Johnson.
Karen Johnson.
Yep.
Yeah. And Whoopi Goldberg.
Yep.
Oh, I don't know. I'm just gonna make my name sound ethnic
Yeah. She's black and
To a-
Jewish. She's bluish.
to a particular. She didn't convert to Judaism, did she?
No.
No. Jewish.
All I want to know is what the hell was Ted Danson thinking?
I don't know, but I remember when Stern used to call him Blonde Frankenstein, I would piss myself.
When Ted Danson did that bit with Hemphill there. No, what's his name? Hemsley. Sherman Hemsley.
Yeah.
Oh, it's my favorite.
Well,
You know I love all people.
Ted Danson, if you took
Except
his
for-
hair and slicked it back even more, he'd look like the bald eagle on the Muppet Show.
Well, first of all, you'd understand he's been wearing a hairpiece for 100 years.
Yes,
That's not his hair. That's a system.
I agree.
Elroy Shredding says Shirley Jones smoking hot.
She was the cutie pie. I don't know if you call her
Oklahoma.
hot.
Oklahoma.
She was younger.
No.
Am I
Carousel. She was
insane
in
if I entered the Twilight Zone here, folks?
I thought she
No,
was.
when she was young,
She's
young.
beautiful. She was beautiful when she was young.
Gorgeous.
Folks, somebody pinch me. I'm dreaming. What are we saying
Well,
here?
Dave-
Shirley
Dave-
Jones,
Dave thinks Lysanka's freaking gorgeous.
a beauty compared to Shirley
keeps-
Jones.
Keeps mentioning her.
Shirley Jones is right up there with Shirley Booth.
Really? I mean, we're talking about young
We're,
Shirley.
we're
Jones.
talking 1955 Shirley Jones.
Yeah, Carousel.
We're not talking about right now Shirley Jones dead in a grave, that skin and bones. No,
Oh,
Did
no,
Shirley
we're not
Jones
talking about
die?
1970s Shirley Jones. is what we-
Shirley Jones. didn't die. She's still alive.
1955. I'm looking it up, folks. Shirley Jones.
Look at her in Oklahoma. I'm telling you, the woman was gorgeous.
I will say this. I stand by my initial reaction.
It's a matter of taste.
You're
It's a
talking
matter of
about.
taste.
It's some Yvonne DiCarlo was hot.
Yeah, well,
Oh, Shirley. Oh, you guys are talking about 1955 Shirley Hemphill.
what you talking about, Dave?
Ay, ay, ay.
Oh.
Hey. I mixed up two.
Now the world don't move to the beat of just one drum. What was the premise? Do you guys know what the premise was of Different Strokes?
Well, yeah, I know that Arnold and Willis were foster kids adopted by rich.
Well, but why? But what
family.
happened to their parents?
They were killed by the gooch.
The gooch killed them. No. Let me just see here. Hold on.
Parents were
I'm
killed in
serious.
an accident. I think the parents were killed in an accident. If I
don't
remember
think so.
correctly.
Different Strokes. Let me see if it gives me that. Nobody knows how those kids were living in that house.
I got it right here. Yeah. I
The
got it
deceased,
right. No.
their mother used to be the maid.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And they brought in, then the mother died. They said, let's get the heavyset woman from Car 54, Charlotte Ray. Girls.
And let's get Gordon Jump to molest Willis and his buddy.
Was that Gordon Jump?
That's a creepy episode.
Yeah.
Gordon
Hey,
Jump's
take your shirt
also
off.
in an absolutely horrible, terrific movie. It's so bad, it's great. It's called Making the Grade. Are you guys familiar with this movie?
It sounds
I
familiar.
heard that.
Oh, look at you. Who's in that movie?
I'm pulling it up. Making the
Judd
grade.
Nelson.
1980.
Oh, I remember that one. What's her face
I
from
know I've seen
War
this.
Games?
College movie.
Oh
It's
my
really bad.
goodness, that's right.
From War Games.
Gordon Jump.
A spoiled rich young man hires a young hustler who lives in a broken car and owes money to a dicey loan shark to take his place in the elite prep school and graduate for him.
Who's
You
the
can't get
Ali
Judd
Sheedy's
Nelson,
in that?
Joanna
Ali-
Lee, Gordon Jump.
No, Alan Sheedy
Andrew
wasn't
Dice
in it?
Clay. The dicey loan shark is Andrew Dice Clay.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
okay.
This is I used to watch this.
And
Yeah.
he
This
also
movie's
played a
fantastic.
bully on-
Palmer Woodrow was the lead character.
He also played a bully on Different Strokes.
Wait, who's the blonde girl in it? She was really cute. I remember as a kid. Who's the female lead?
Joanna Lee? But there's not even a picture of her.
Hold on. Hey, I don't think you've ever seen her. 84, yeah. Joanna Lee, Tracy Hoover. Let's see what happened to her.
Play the trailer.
Film actress.
Oh my goodness.
that.
Grade. She was on an episode of Silver Spoons.
Yeah, it must have been her. I looked it up. She looked like she could have been hot when she was younger. Oh yeah.
Who's hotter, Joanna Lee or Shirley Jones?
Shut up.
I saw that coming. Oh yeah, she was a cutie pie.
She looked like a young. Wait, is this her Twitter? Hold on, let me see if I found her Twitter.
She was on Growing Pains, I guess. Too.
God, if I see one of these Liberty Mutual commercials, it's like,
Oh, Limu Emu.
and Doug. It's like, really?
Yeah.
Oh, here she has her own Facebook. Hold on.
Yeah, I'm on the Facebook now.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Here she is. Jonna Lee P. Act. Oh, please. Her or Shirley Jones?
In the prime? Yeah, I take this Jonna Lee girl.
All right.
She could sit on my Facebook. Did I say that out loud? Oh, I'm sorry.
Dice did an episode of MASH.
No, I'm not an Avenger, but I have them on speed dial.
Oh, the great line was he goes, I'm going to do this to you or you can pay me. And he's like, is there another option? Judd Nelson's like, is there another option? He goes, yeah, death by tire wheels. That's for Making the Grade. Making the Grade, again, it's so dumb and yet so entertaining.
Dan
yeah.
Schneider.
Oh,
Dan
yeah.
Schneider was in that too. The Nickelodeon.
Yes, exactly.
I remember seeing. I saw it on.
Wait, who was the teacher? There's a teacher in it that's a heavy set guy too. He's in everything. You got to find out this actor's name.
I'll say that. Walter Olkowitz. No, that's
Yes.
Okay, Coach Wordman.
Coach,
yeah,
the
I
coach.
recognize him. Yep.
You know who it is?
He's in Columbo. No.
Oh no, make it.
He just died.
Fatso?
He just died in 2021.
Hold on, I gotta pull up what he was in.
He was in
Let's
Twin
pull up his-
Peaks. He was in 1941. He was in Seinfeld. Nick in the Cadillac. He played Nick. Seinfeld.
Oh, he's great. Wait, I gotta
Night
find
Court.
the. Where you?
Night Court. He made several appearances. Who's the boss? He did.
Do you know who I'm talking about? Walter. Oh, he's
Moonlighting.
fantastic. He did. He died last year, April 6th.
Yep.
He was on ER.
Yep.
I love this guy. He's funny as hell. You've seen him in a million things. He was a regular on Night Court. Who's the boss? Family Ties.
Taxi.
Did you show Joe?
He was
What?
in Barney Miller.
What's his name?
Walter Olkowitz.
Oh, jeez.
He was on.
Oh, he was on the A. He was on the A team.
Heart to Heart, too.
Cheers.
The Rockford Files.
Oh yeah. Oh, he's great. But you see his face and everything.
Oh,
He's a guy that nobody knows his name, but everybody knows him.
Family Ties, yeah.
Did you see him yet, Joe?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah. He's on an
you know what I
episode of Seinfeld.
Yeah.
yeah. The Cadillac.
Who was he in Seinfeld? I'm trying to remember. And why? How
Cadillac.
come?
The Cadillac. He played this guy Nick. So when
Wait, was he the cable guy?
no? Well, when he could have been. It's the episode where Jerry buys his father the Cadillac, and everyone's busting on the guy saying, "Hey, can you afford a Cadillac?" So whoever Nick was,
No,
in
he
that-
wasn't. He's not down. No.
The episode he appeared in was the Cadillac.
What's it called? Yes, I understand, but you're talking about part 2 of the Cadillac when he's down in Florida. This guy wasn't down there.
Yeah, so maybe he was the cable guy. But was it when he was getting free cable? No, that was from the Russians, right?
Now, hold on, I'm looking up the script.
Yeah, he's the guy from Plaza Cable.
Okay, that's it. Is the cable guy? Yeah.
Yeah.
He's trying to get a hold of Kramer.
Yeah, the
Plaza
guy
Cable,
catches
that's
on
it.
to Kramer's illegal cable hookup, and Kramer spends episodes evading him to give him a taste of his own medicine.
I love that guy. But in Making the Grade, he He's the coach, and he
Kramer
gives
is
people.
eventually chased across rooftops by this guy. That's the best part.
He gives them like he goes, listen, I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of advice before you take your test. They're like, okay, coach. He's like, it's almost always C.
Yep.
Good luck.
It's like someone said in the military, when in doubt, Charlie out. Circle C. Unless you know C's absolutely wrong.
Yeah, I love that guy. I didn't realize he died 5 years ago.
Oh, did he?
No,
Yeah.
2021.
Oh, I
that
thought it
was
said 17.
No,
Oh,
2021.
he died last year. That's too bad. Did it say what he died from?
I'm
Oh,
looking.
God, I hesitate
Well, he
to
was
look.
72.
Which is young.
He said he died at his home in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
He died after a 20-year health battle that included a series of knee surgeries that caused infections, resulting in disabilities that forced him out of show business. But that's this. Yeah.
Oh,
No,
he was
more
a
than
mess.
that.
At least they didn't say COVID. And that's
Yeah, that's what I was expecting.
Well, really, I wasn't.
no, everything's COVID nowadays. So it's like
Oh, he was
you
bo-
could be
he was
100
born on my
years old.
father's
No,
birthday.
but it's shifting. In another day or two, everyone's. I died in Ukraine.
Right.
It's shifting.
He was
Everything's
born.
gonna
He was
shift.
born on my father's birthday. My father's 14th birthday.
Everyone's
Oh,
becoming a foreign, diplomat now.
Wow.
Right. I knew everything about
Your father was born in
science.
34?
Now I know everything about war.
Your father was born in 34?
Yeah.
Well, he's 2 years older than my father was. My
Yeah.
father was born in 36.
When you said he was 2 years older, I could do the math.
Yep.
My father was born in 26, but he's no longer here.
Was he really?
Mhm.
Is your father still with us?
No. Died
spirit?
21 years ago.
Wow. How old did he make it to? Late 70s?
71.
So he was like
Oh,
43,
early-
44 when he had you.
Damn, he did
Yeah,
his
pretty
most
late, and,
online cell phone. That's pretty cool.
Same with my mother. I mean, she died maybe back in 1982.
So and
Excuse
how
me?
many kids are in the family?
5, 2 left. 3 left, sorry.
Three of your siblings have passed? Two of your
Sorry.
siblings have passed?
2 have, yeah.
Wow, sorry to hear that.
Were they older or younger or what?
2 older sisters, but only 5 and 7 years older than me.
And how did they pass?
One took her own life.
Oh,
The other died of a heart disease. This was
she had a heart
like,
attack.
this is about 2003 was the younger of the 2 sisters, Joanne, and then Margaret. She passed on 4 years ago.
That's the one that took her own life.
No, she was the heart disease one.
Oh, 4 years ago was the heart disease one. Wow.
Yeah. So it's me and my older brother who lives down in England, and my
Where does he live?
older sister in Reading.
Okay. And then where's
Just
your
north.
older sister?
She's just 2 miles up from me, up north, up from me, up the road.
Wow.
So that's all that's left.
Now, does your brother have any kids?
2 kids, a son and a daughter, who are both at university.
Oh, all right.
That's
And then what about
hysterical.
your sister? Any kids there?
She's got 1 kid. He's got Asperger's syndrome. Rather.
Uh-huh.
So he does a lot of art stuff, but he doesn't. He can't really work full time,
Right.
But he does a lot of art
Wow.
and stuff.
Wow. Interesting. Well, thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, no problem.
And so, and then there's you. You don't have any kids, right?
Nope.
Smart man.
Girlfriend and a cat.
Well, now it's just the cat for me.
Lonesome Lenny, what's happening?
Hey.
Hey, Gary Hubbs, welcome. Do you guys hear that beeping every so often?
I heard
Whose
him.
end is that on?
I have no idea.
I didn't hear nothing.
Is
I
it
heard it.
mine?
I got no beep in here.
This time
Is
I
that-
thought I heard it from outside.
Yeah, it was a long beep. It was like, like for a couple seconds.
Yeah.
I know you look like you've been broadcasting in 240p all night, but other than that, I didn't hear no beep.
Well, yeah, my I don't know, my internet, it's showing that I have full, but then when I go to StreamYard, it shows,
Yeah.
well, now it's showing me at full, so I should look good right now.
For a second.
But-
Yeah.
well,
Yeah, sometimes when you move fast, it like blurs.
Because he's the Flash, Krellbot.
Yeah,
Don't
exactly.
tell
There
people.
we go. See now? Now
Don't
I have two
confuse-
bars.
Don't confuse the flash with the flasher.
What's going on? I don't know. Oh, it says I'm in 5G. I don't know. 6 days COVID.
Lenny
positive.
says he.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, how you making out with it?
Yeah. Is it a big
like-
deal, or are you just drinking some tea? Enjoying the tapestry that's on Joe's bed. Looks like Captain America to his left, or to my left,
Mhm.
his
Well,
right.
you got Captain America, Iron Man, and the Hulk.
Oh, there's the Hulk up top.
Yeah.
Pamela
You
says
gotta-
it's snowing.
Oh,
there's a
fuck
sleeping
off. Is it?
Uh-oh.
Hold on. Let me look. Let me look just through my phone.
You know, I see a little trickle outside here. It can't
Oh,
be
yeah.
anything major coming.
Well, it's showing no snow, but it shows flurries right now.
Yeah, it's probably just.
A few flurries.
Mhm.
A McFlurry?
29 degrees tomorrow.
You're killing me.
Still dark outside here. Can't see anything.
She said her street is covered. Nice. I see tar out there. How do I fix this now? All righty. Well, I don't really have much more to talk about, you guys. I mean, we can call it an early night.
Yeah, we went
all
2.5. That's not bad.
Yeah. Afternoon, 80 afternoon here in Arizona tomorrow. Nice, James.
Lenny says mild symptoms, but fatigued. Yeah, it's a cold.
All right. Well, we're going to call it, guys. Everyone have a great night. Joe, take care. Have a good week. Hugh, I'll see you guys Tuesday night. And
I should have a new video tomorrow night, new vlog.
we're looking forward to that.
Tomorrow is 9 months.
Mm-hmm.
Time flies when you're having none.
9 months. Wow.
Yeah.
You pregnant?
Krellbot, when is your next video going up? Exactly. Hugh, when is your next video going up?
Well, one went up last night. There's one going up tomorrow.
Really? Because Joe said he hasn't seen a video from you. Maybe he just doesn't watch your channel.
he
Joe, you
just had-
don't.
no,
I'm
what are you talking
joking. Joe, come on. Will you defend yourself? I'm joking.
He's been kibitzing over some Pink Floyd shit lately.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
So what's happening on Tuesday?
Well, Tuesday I do my live show, my live lesson
It's
show.
court therapy.
Oh, right, that one. Right.
Yeah.
He was like, what? Do I have to show up?
I thought you may have been playing live or something.
Ooh, that sounds
Well, what
good.
the fuzz?
That sounds evil. That sounds like typo negative.
$25 bought me a lot of fuzz.
That's low. What is a tuning? Is that low B or
That's-
A?
That's
Z.
A. When I
That's
changed
A.
the strings, I put it to A.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Nice.
Did it sound okay? Because the amps over
Sounds
there
good.
It's
wasn't that loud either.
sounds
Wasn't
pretty
loud,
heavy.
but it sounds
Yeah,
good.
I was playing it tonight when I was catching up with Jessica Jones season 3.
Nice.
Weird, but that's it. Good night, everybody.
All right. Everyone,
Good night,
want to thank everyone for hanging out with us as always. We will see everybody. Thanks, Hugh, for coming on again. And Hugh, you're welcome
Pleasure, sir.
anytime.
Thank you.
Anytime you want. You know that's an open invite.
Prayers for
And,
everyone in Ukraine, please.
Yes.
And yawn.
Absolutely. And other than that, I will lesson goes up tomorrow. New chord therapy Tuesday night. All right, guys. Until then, very good.
Catch you later.
Right.
Okay, goodbye, Ted.